It's all about the journey. Where are you going? Fire in my eyes, I keep on growing. This is a little personal, the LA Project Show.
Doctor?
Peace to everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of the LA Project, y'all. Turn the tunes down and get the show started. Y'all know how I like to pregame on a regular basis, but I wanted to get straight to it today, if y'all don't mind. I don't even do this on a regular basis. Give me 1 second. The dog going crazy. I swear. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh, here they go again. Being around dogs recently, I'm not convinced on them anymore. Like, the next pet I get is definitely not gonna be no damn dog. They make too much noise. I'm sorry. God damn. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Welcome to everybody that's in the building. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe if you have not already. We got Willing to Win and Eugene Steele over here on the horizontal side. We got some visitors over there on the vertical side. Welcome. What's going on? A Drizzy in the building. Hold up. Where you at, girl? Where is you at? Where is you at? What? Hold on. Did everything get okay, my bad. How'd I let that slip through the cracks? All right, I got you straight, love. Thanks for sliding through. Yeah, I normally don't do this type of stuff, but at the same time, I'm starting to get back to my roots a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, had a really good conversation earlier today with a fellow content creator, and sometimes y'all just gotta be reminded, you know what I mean, of who the hell you are and what you're supposed to be doing, because everything does not have to be, every conversation, every channel does not have to be the same. I went to school, you know what I'm saying, for journalism. Actually, I started learning and finding out that it's not about the truth, which is what made me fall out of love with journalism. However, I am still a big fan of the truth, regardless if it hurts or not, right? So one thing that I like to do is to prepare myself as much as possible, you know what I'm saying, especially with talking about cases, high profile cases, sensitive cases. But sometimes there's no better time than the present, you know what I'm saying, just to go ahead and dive in. You know, there's a lot that has already transpired in terms of this Nolan Wells case, but I'm gonna chime in on it because women, we get kind of, made fun of about this or whatever, us liking our crime shows, investigative shit, whatever you want to call it. But to be completely honest, it's always been about, for me, it's always been about the victim. It's always been about what type of person were they and what really happened. That has always been the biggest part that has intrigued me. It's not about the gore, it's not about the injuries, it's not about any of that, man. It's about what the hell happened. Call me nosy if you want to, man. But it intrigues me because I feel like that's the one thing that we could do as human beings in order to honor somebody's life, is to actually just take the time to get to know them as much as possible and take the time to learn what happened. All right, this ain't the time to be, oh my goodness, that's too nasty for me. No, I'm gonna need you to look. I'm gonna need you to look and listen. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those shows, just in case, and it's really unfortunate, but just in case I was ever a victim, I wanted to be able to give my peoples some breadcrumbs. All right, I wanted to be able to provide hints beyond the grave. Yeah, I'm a spooky motherfucker. You cross me if you want to. I'm gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. No, I'm just playing. But there are certain cases that have always I've went over and over, whether it be testimony or autopsy pictures, video evidence, sequence of events. I go over this stuff, man, because that's the least that we can do for these unfortunate people who have been taken out the game way too early and by the hands of other people. I feel like that's the least we can do, right? I mean, you don't have to feel it, you don't have to experience it, but the least you can do is listen. Now, this might just be the parent in me. Shouts out to the cynical one in the building. This might just be the parent in me. But I've been responsible of looking over younger people who were smaller than me ever since I was 10 years old. I was a minister of music in church. It was my job to influence my peer group as much as possible to do the right thing, even when I was still figuring out what the right thing was. You understand? Kind of confusing times, but I just did what I was told by my baby boomer parents, But there's something different about watching somebody grow up. It's very special. When you get to experience a newborn baby and watch them as they figure life out, as they grow older, get bigger, get stronger, get smarter. It's a beautiful thing, and it's really cool, man. And it's really unfortunate that some people's lives, they don't even get to begin before somebody takes it. Shouts out to Candy Cane. Hey, what's going on, Mahogany? Yeah, so maybe it's the parent in me, maybe it's the auntie in me, but it bothers me when something like this happens. Because at the very least, the parents, they want to know what the hell happened to their baby. They want to know what happened to their child. Siblings want to know what happened to their brother or sister. The whole family is wondering. And again, I try not to speak about stuff like this because You want to preserve the integrity of the case as much as possible. I kind of got, well, I don't really get into it with people anymore because it's really not that big of a deal to me. But I had somebody in a chat not understand that we need to have patience as much as possible in these situations because the information is still rolling out. Trial hasn't even begun. They're not even anywhere close to being ready for this trial. But yet all the social media, the news, people in the town, everybody's speculating. Everybody has their own theory and opinions about what happened. And sometimes we just need to have patience. We need to have patience. Because you know one thing that I noticed by watching all these crime shows and such is while everybody is so busy bragging about what they think they know. What's going on, Nightish? While everybody's bragging about what they think they know and what evidence has been found and where's this case going next? You know, you want to know who's right there in the search parties. You want to know who's there sometimes at the funerals and even have the nerve to be pallbearers sometimes. The perpetrator. The perpetrator. The one who did wrong usually tries to stay as close to the situation as possible so they can get the jump. They can get a head start. They can clean their tracks up just a little bit more because everybody's talking, right? Some people need to learn to shut the fuck up. Go to the proper sources or authorities and let them know if there's anything pertinent. But us just speculating and throwing this, that, and the third out there, you have to know that the perpetrator is listening, right? You have to know that. It hardly ever fails. This is not the 80s and where people can just bounce from state to state and it takes weeks to try to track them down. No, we live in the age of information. People don't even have the shame to run anymore. They stay as close as possible to the scene of the crime. So it's in our best interest, Black people, to be patient. Yes. Feel the way that you feel. Process and go through all the emotions. But don't mess this up, okay? By being overly emotional, by being overly expressive and speculative. It's all right. We don't have to be the first that knows. Just be a part of the cause, man. Just stay on the team. Stay on the side of right. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. We got Zoomer in the building. What's going on, hon? I think I said hi to everybody. Black Lexicon, what's going on? Hope that you're having a good afternoon. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just get into my journalism bag, all right? No, this is going to be a very off-the-cuff type of reaction. This is not... LA didn't bring her notebooks and her research and her boards with all the notes on it, but it's coming, all right? I got to start somewhere. So we're going to start right here, all right? Now, again, we're going to be looking out, we're going to be reviewing enhanced audio of the emergency call. And shouts out to Nancy Grace. Shouts out to Nancy Grace for all the work that she does. as a former, she is a former prosecutor. So one thing that she knows is law. She's one of the only credible sources left that we have in media that hasn't been caught up in a scandal. Okay, so let's I don't know about y'all, but you know, she's always been one of my favorites. Hold on, we got Rooster in the building. What's going on? I'm catching up with the case. I just, like I said, it bothers me to no fucking end when parents can't even know what happened to their child, man. I get it. You gonna be fucking scared. You know what I'm saying? You a kid, you know, who's one of his friends saw something that you probably didn't want to see. You witnessed some shit that you didn't want to see. Guess what? We're here now. Who's gonna do the right thing? You know, I get it. The friends here and the friends there, the Warrens and this, that, and the third. You know, they sit down on the couch, probably after being paid, to give a very manicured version of the story. But for me, I could not imagine one of my loved ones being taken from this earth and we don't even know how, why, who. This is what I'm doing this for. I get it. A lot of people's been running with this story. It's something to talk about. Awareness is just that. If you hold everything in, if you don't have a network of people, you can't get the job done. You can't, you know, you can't get the type of help that you need, man. And eventually, people will think that this is something that isn't real or it's fabricated. When certain things are happening at a higher clip in modern days, like modern day lynchings, it's crazy. You wouldn't think that that would still be happening in 2026, but yet here we are. Well, shoot, let us know what the other cases are. At the moment, I'm just starting. So like I said, I got to start somewhere. So this is where I'm going to start. So let me go ahead and pull up this enhanced audio. Shouts out to Brownie in the building. And this is from the Marine Emergency Dispatch. So similar to first responders, similar to 911 and things like that, you know, even when you deal with me selling insurance to homeowners, boat owners, are you know, they got the watercrafts and stuff like that. Like, you got to let them know about all of their resources, including maintenance and emergency. And yes, all those phone calls are recorded, not only for quality assurance, but for situations like this where the law has to be brought into the situation. And thank God for them. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we got a bunch of kids who set off on a journey together earlier in the day to have some type of summer fun. This was 4th of July. And one of the friends didn't come back. And I'm sorry. It's not enough. It's not enough upset for me, man. Like, if I was just with my homegirl, first of all, if I'm out with you, I gotta get eyes on you. I gotta talk to you. I gotta, even, you know what I'm saying, if I happen to depart from your presence, you know what I'm saying? But 9 times out of 10, hell no. If you came with me, I feel responsible. Come on, it's time to go. It's time to go. That's just how I feel about it, though. And this was a group of quote unquote friends who went out to have fun together, and they homie don't come back. To me, that's unexcusable. I wasn't raised like that, but you know, We got Be Easy in the building. What's going on, Uda? Yeah, I got you. Y'all give me a second. Let me pull this up. We're going to get started with the enhanced audio. Y'all just bear with me. Like the video if you have not already. Subscribe if you haven't done so, because we're going to keep coming with the heat, man. We're going to keep up with this one, because this really does bother me. You know what I'm saying? It's not just because I have nephews and brothers. I got family, you know, period. I got people that I give 3 fucks about. And I'm not just going to feel like this towards my own. I feel like this towards any one of us, any one of y'all's people. Unacceptable. These people need answers. They don't need harassment. They don't need naysayers. They definitely don't need no goddamn haters. If you don't have anything to say, this is a time to follow your grandmammy's advice and keep it to yourself if you ain't got nothing nice to say. Straight up. So let me go ahead and pull this up, you guys, so we can get started with this one, okay? Yeah, and shouts out to Nancy Grace, man, one of the realest prosecutors turned journalists left on the scene, man. Let's hope to God that she ain't got no scandals, or my heart really gonna be broken. But let's let's go ahead with the review. Let me get my banner on for fair use, just to cover my arse. All right, we got that. All right, what was Rooster say? This case let me know for sure that a lot of black people who live white adjacent don't know how dangerous it could be hanging around. Bro, I was raised by a fair-skinned black man who taught me just the same thing. Because I used to get, like I said, I told this story before, you know what I'm saying? When I moved to the I lived in the Midwest for a little while, just in different areas. But when I moved to St. Louis, I did not understand the accents that they use, the hers and go upstairs and you got pretty her and blah blah blah. So they you know what I'm saying, they thought that I wasn't black enough, right? So I hung out with mostly white girls, you know what I'm saying? I never dated a white boy, so y'all can go ahead and get that out your mind. No diss to my Caucasian persuasions, but just never was my style. But no, even my fair-skinned black father told me that. He was like, I get where you're coming from, but eventually you're going to want to start hanging with your own, because when it comes down to you or them, it's going to be you every time. That's when I was on the cusp of going to 8th grade. I knew that when I was an early teenager. And I was wondering, honestly, I had a thought about that, Rooster. I can't even lie, because I'm just like, similar like you get taught about the police. It's not racism that matter, you know, like to a certain degree. It's history, and it's about awareness. It's about keeping your black sons and daughters safe, regardless of how big their heart may be or how much they get along with folks, man. There's still certain things that we need to know and we need to be aware of. Let me see. Be Easy. It says it should only take 24 to 48 hours for the family to identify the body. It took 4 days. Yeah, I see him. I mean, it sounds similar like the Kendrick Johnson situation. The young man that was found rolled up in a fucking gym mat in South Georgia. His body was in that school overnight before his parents even knew he was in there. Can you imagine that? And to me, that's what's the most important thing. It's not about being right, having, you know what I'm saying, the most up-to-date coverage and I'm not there, okay? I live in a different part of the country. What they're doing is I'm not trained. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way above my pay grade. However, I am one of them people who is more than willing to raise some hell if this shit was going to be swept underneath the rug. And that's what needs to happen. Pressure needs to be put on necks to make sure that the higher ups, the powers that be, whatever you want to call it, they're doing their due diligence and they're doing their job. Shouts out to H&M. It's the afternoon, but we'll let it slide today. Maybe he's just getting up. Oh my God, are you kidding me? See, y'all, this is just getting worse. They identified him by dental records, even though the family is God damn, man, dental Okay, let me go ahead and pull up Nancy Grace. Oh Jesus, take the wheel. I'm gonna try my best to not get into my feelings. It's another reason why I don't like to cover things like this unless I see all the evidence, because I am human just like any one of y'all, and be ready to personalize shit and flip mode squad on somebody. You understand? Like, serious, because certain things just, it's like I said, it's unacceptable. But let me go ahead and pull this up. Hold on. Oops, it said, how old is the Mississippi Gulf Coast? There are flock cameras in certain areas. Why were they not able to trace the locations of the drivers who got off the boat? Man, there was actually a some type of GPS that navigated the actual trip of that boat during their excursion on the 4th of July. But let me get this pulled up because I might be able to find that a little bit later. Let me go ahead and let Nancy start her spiel. All right, so y'all just hang tight with me. I know that I'm gonna have to stay muted so my camera does not echo, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Nancy Grace. This is the enhanced audio from the emergency boating let me see here, hotline that they called in initially. Let me see here. Okay.
Bombshell tonight. Nolan Wells audio distress call. Is it real? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Everyone in the background is saying, is he dead? Nolan, wake the fuck.
Claiming they're sinking and calling for help. And yet, in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead.
Damn. All right, you guys, let me pull somebody up real quick, and I forgot to even mute myself. Did I have an echo when that video was playing, y'all? If anybody, yes. God damn it. All right. Well, thank you for the mic check. I'll remember that in the future. Let's go ahead and let somebody up to the stage real quick who definitely knows way more about the situation, can give us some insight, and you know, just shed some light on the happenings and where we are in the case. Let's go ahead and let Uda on go up to the stage. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, love?
Uda, what's going on?
You already know. We just trying to figure this whole thing out, you know? That's what it comes down to, you know? Most definitely trying to figure this whole thing out. Shady circumstances. It always seems like that when it comes to people that looks like us, you know? So, yeah.
I mean, do you put any weight into like the actual area that he's from, or do you think this happens to Chicago black folks and New York black folk? You know, like, do you think that it's more regional, or do you think it's just like a something that we're just, I don't know, it's just still the stigma and what we have to deal with, you know, even in modern days and modern times?
I think it's for us in America itself, but when we talking about places like Mississippi, we talking about rural South, I think it just gets more tricky, man, because there's a few situations that happened. It was even a festival where another young black man, he got unalived under some suspicious circumstances as well. They found his keys and his phone in the car. His body was somewhere else. And I think at that same festival, I think a baby, like a young baby, was unalived too as well. This is all on that same, around that same weekend as well. So, you know, when it comes to the South, you know what I mean, we hear about things, people on trees and a lot of different situations like that. Me from New York, I understand that certain situations don't matter with us. They may not investigate it as hard as they should, you know. But most definitely, when you come down to that South in certain areas of America, it most definitely gets more trickier. That's just a fact, man. Especially places like Mississippi.
Child, because I'm telling you, man, when I started going to high school outside of Stone Mountain in 1999 and was still seeing Confederate flags on the back of t-shirts and on the back of trucks, I was like, oh hell no. Like where what, it's a time warp. I mean, what's going on? Because like in the St. Louis area, it was more of like half and half. You know what I'm saying? Like there was, plenty of prosperous, African American people, because they have Boeing and Budweiser's up there, a lot of factory work. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the other half, who white folks, who everybody is not affluent. You know what I mean? There was a lot of trailer park type of situations going on. So when I moved down to Georgia, I felt like it was a time. I felt like it was a time warp. I felt like I went into one of those movies that's like in a, that happened in the 1950s or something like that. Like that, we had to change a lot of stuff, man. And I was about to be. That was my junior and senior year. So can you? I mean, that's just what it was. That's what I was surrounded by. Like, so it's like it's not that far in the past, even though, especially like the younger black folks and stuff like that, they think that that was just so long ago, and it's just like it's not. Um, I had I had highlighted a comment that Rooster said, about like
Shout out to
knowing
Rooster.
better than being the
Rooster
only
come down them
one.
parts. Shout out to
Yeah,
Rooster come down them ways. You know what I mean? So who feels it knows it. Who knows it really knows it. He's from them sides of Earth, so he knows what it
right.
looks like. Well, he most definitely knows.
Was that something that your parents ever mentioned to you growing up?
Growing up in New York City, I've heard it. But it wasn't that my parents mentioned it to me. I was a student of history. I've always studied things. I've always studied the history of not just here, America, other places as well. So I always was just an avid reader. You know what I mean? Even though I was in the streets and stuff, I always read a lot. So I put a lot of the things in my mind that I needed to know as far as things like these and what it is to be black in America and things like that. And even
Mhm.
beyond. You know what I mean? I actually did a lot of studying and a lot of research on things just to get my mind to where it's at today, you know?
Yeah. But when you were younger, were you one of those I don't see color type of people?
I grew up like that too as well. You know what I mean? I still feel like that today in a way. You know what I mean? I feel that, I don't think that there's a color on a good person, but I understand racism. I understand the systematic racism as well. I understand that racism is a learned behavior, it's a learned trait. And I understand that people are taught that behavior. You know what I mean? And sometimes society itself teaches people you don't got to be taught hand and foot, one and one. Society itself also teaches people the same racisms. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah.
true indeed. All right. Well, I know you've heard this dispatch call, but we gonna play it for the people. We gonna break it down as much as possible. I'm gonna have to mute in between time just to make sure that the video doesn't echo. But if you need me to pause at any time, just let me know. Okay.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm talking about if White Boy Wasted had a voice, like I can just hear the intoxication on their voice. You know what I'm saying? Like the slurring of the words, even the people in the band, oh my God. Like, like it's and I don't know if you should be hysterical or whatever, but it's just like it's obvious been some heavy drinking going on. You know what I'm saying? this happens even in Midwest, areas or whatever, where some of these kids, their parents would go out of town, leave them at home for the weekend or whatever. Next thing you know, was it house party? You know what I'm saying? Kids all over the front lawn, beer cans, everything else. You know what I'm saying? So like boat drinking, day drinking, to me, that's like a whole nother level, because that sun hits you with that liquor in the system. It make you feel like, you done had about double, you know what I'm saying, of what you actually had. But that's just what I'm picking up at the moment. But it's just, I don't know, like, is he dead? Like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to get with the tone and everything, because they just, I don't know, they're not freaking out enough for me. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. They seem too calm and like he's just going to sleep type shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. To me, it's just already kind of fugazi,
Some
um
shaky to me too, man. Shaky to me, man. I've listened to this audio at least 100 times. You know what I mean? So for me, it just seems very shaky. And this actual audio that Nancy's playing right now actually comes from the Mississippi Department of Marine like resources or research. So they're the ones that actually deal with like ships that's capsizing and all those types of things. And this is their transcription of the actual audio, because we also know that a woman named Janetta Brantley, she came out to do her own enhancement of the audio. Since then, she's been doxxed as well. They brought up her criminal past and stuff like
Right.
that. Staying steadfast on the case. She's saying that's 20 years ago. All of those things don't define who she is today. And many people who are innocent are charged with crimes as well. So this is actually what they do. So to hear it from them as well, and it kind of compares to both, I take that in hand. And when I first listened to the audio, I listened to it without the transcription, because they say like if we read the transcription or we knew, because I didn't know what was said on the audio at all, they said we can have a confirmation bias if we read it and then we listen in. Our brain are programmed in a way to hear what we think it hears. But when I heard it at first, I heard like something like, is he dead? And I heard kind of stuff that was in this audio regardless. So it's either one of us are crazy or maybe all of us are crazy. You know what I mean? But it just seems very, very suspicious.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question. Like, when you actually like heard it for yourself without the transcription, because that's what I was telling the audience. This is like the water version of 911. Okay, so like everything is going to be documented, it's going to be recorded, it's official tissue. You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to it without the transcript, was there any well, maybe it sounded like that, but did you have any type of hesitation about what was said or the overall tone of the actual call?
Nah, it was kind of leaning. Some things I couldn't make out, but like, is he dead? Oh my God, Bart, like Bart's name being mentioned stuck out to me. I think in another audio that I think I heard, like, do we cover it? You know what I mean? So I was hearing mad different things in my own head, like, yo, what's going on? Did they say that? So I was then I ended up reading the transcriptions. I'm saying, okay, maybe they thinking the same thing. And then Nancy ended up playing the MD and Mars version, which is this one that we're listening to right now. And I was like, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Because these people, they actually cover sea emergencies. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, God forbid, this boat went down and this was the last audio. That's what their job is, to recreate the crime scene, recreate the last audio, try to make out every word that's there, you know what I mean? And transcribe it so that this could go into an investigation. Maybe an audio like this can maybe find and locate you under the sea, you know what I'm saying? Based on an audio like this, they could probably find where you are, you know what I mean? So for them to have their version of it as well, yeah, it stuck out to me as well. I don't know if they use AI to kind of clear up the audio a little bit more. We know that Janetta Brantley, she said she just did what she did. She separated the tracks. She just kind of enhanced it and did what she had to do. She didn't try to tamper with the audio as much. But it just seems similar on both sides. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it sounded like some shady business when I heard it for the first time.
All right, appreciate that. Let me go ahead and continue on with the transcript and what Miss Nancy Grace had to say.
Yeah.
Can you give me a description? Ankles.
What'd you
Hello?
say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. It's. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
It's the lackadaisical, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you in trouble or not? Because you don't sound like you in trouble at all. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you don't know, you can't even pick or even like keep up with the questions that I'm asking you. You can't describe exactly like the extent of the damage, how far the water is coming up, or anything. To me, like I said, that's just what kind of triggered me. You know what I mean? Like when I started listening to this, it was just like it didn't sound like it was emergency at all. It sounded like, you caught a flat tire on the side of the road and you're calling AAA. What do you think?
It sounded like that to me too. That's why I didn't want to say nothing at that part, because I knew that part was coming up. But that's one of the parts that stuck out to me too. You know what I mean? Like, where's your mind at? I understand that you're in an emergency. I understand that you got to stay calm within. And when you're in an emergency, which I go from like Titanic energy, oh my God, all this other energy. And then when she's asking you a simple question like, where's the water? Is it to your ankles? You're gonna let it, you said, can you excuse me? Then when she comes back and says, how far is the water? I don't know, just come, just send help. It's like, it's just a fast forward to that. Remember, they're trying to see exactly how deep this emergency is. This is crucial evidence, crucial information. Listen, how far is the water? You know what I mean? Is the water to your ankles now? Is the boat filled with water? And there's no answer to that. You know what I mean? So to me,
Facts.
it kind of leans more to the side of some cover-up energy than some actual emergency energy, which we also know that the sea tow was canceled, which they say allegedly. And Bart's boat ended up being the boat to actually come and help them towards the shore.
When I was listening to it, like that sounded like one of them phone calls where you're just calling for some help for somebody to come and, you know what I'm saying, to further assist, but you finna dip. You know what I'm saying? Like my partner just got clapped or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he's gonna be right here, right? Get the hell on. Like it don't sound like you finna stick around, right? It don't sound like you finna stick around or wait or do nothing. They didn't ask for any names or you know what? Hold on. Let me not jump ahead. We gonna see if there's anything else that was when it's minors, right, they can't really, even if it is a transcript, they can't really release that information, can they? Or they
If it's
can.
minors, but they're 18 though. I think they're all 18. I don't know if anybody else was on the boat. If it's female, because there's a female voice I also hear on the boat as well. So I don't know how old she was. If allegedly a girl's on the boat, but I think they were 18 though. I think all the boys were 18 though as well. So because they was able to do interviews. I don't even think they needed their parents' consent to do those interviews as well. You might get your parents' permission, but I think they were of age that they didn't really need consent to actually conduct the interviews that they even did with Officer Tatum and stuff like that as well. So, yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because they definitely are making their rounds trying to do damage control and such. I actually learned about that from white people. I didn't know what damage control was. We're not gonna
Around
get to
damage
it.
all day. We grew up around damage. That was just
Right,
normal.
like shit. Like in black neighborhoods, you better fess up. You know what I'm saying? Like you supposed to fess up to what you do. Like you don't go around trying to slander and try to cover tracks and stuff like that. But no, I'm sorry. Let me not go to the side, to the left, to the right. We got Reese from Philly in the building. Shouts out to you. Just hang on to that for a second. I'll be dropping a link a little bit later. I just want to cook, you know what I'm saying, and get down to the meat and potatoes. This is about a 40, yeah, it's a 43-minute video. So I want to get as much of the information out as possible, but just hang tight for me, okay? And then we got Bronze Bird in the building. He says, peace. What's going on, Bronze Bird? Shouts out to you. Okay, that's all we got. Let me get back to the emergency call here. I did run it back a little bit for you guys who are just coming in. This is the I'm sorry, Udo. What is the acronym? MP
The
what?
MD, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources or Research. This is the MDMR's actual audio that they transcribe.
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, so we're gonna start that a little bit. We're gonna run it a little bit back for everybody that's in the building. Shouts out to Detroit Coalition. Appreciate you for joining the stream, my friend. and we're gonna go ahead and continue on with the
Please come. We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't
All
have the
right,
tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at.
You are hearing the audio distress call from the boat. That is the boat on which Nolan Wells went to Horn Island. Now, there have been a lot of different accounts about whether he was on the boat when he came back from Horn Island, when he was supposed to come back from Horn Island. He never came back from Horn Island. And you can clearly hear on that version, which we obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Research. They released it. It's not something off TikTok or Insta. And that's what you hear. Let me hear 184 one more time, please.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories, investigative reporter. What are we hearing?
Nancy, this is the audio call from the boat that Nolan Wells took out to Horn Island. And the boat is attempting to leave Horn Island because the boat is taking on water. What we are hearing is the call from the boat to the group they have.
Cito, let me help you. Reminder, Dave Mack, we've only got 1 hour to cover a lot of territory. That is the Cito call where the grandson of the boat owner thinks that they're taking on water. Joining me right now, special guest Brandon Tatum. He is a former police officer with Tucson PD, and he is
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh when I see this nigga. Okay. Rooster says what needs to happen is they need to check and see if the driver of the boat took the Mississippi boating educational course and received a certificate for boat operations. I mean, that definitely would help. Who owned the damn boat? Was that even their boat? Again, it just sounded like this is just where the spot to find him is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, and I'm not saying that they should have been given all that information, like, you know, over the transcript and stuff like that, but dude didn't know a phone number that the account was associated with. He didn't know anything. He was just like, well, at least I called. At least I reported something. Like, to me, that's like the bare minimum just to kind of keep your hands clean in the situation. And also because you've been drinking so much that things are just hazy as fuck. I'm not sure. I told myself I wouldn't try to get too emotional about this situation. Help bring me back to earth a little bit.
Yeah. I feel the same way, you know what I mean? Because we know at the end of the day, his body was actually recovered in a location that they were searching already. You know what I mean? So I think that's real suspicious as well. Could have been like somebody dumped him back over there allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Because they were searching there. And his body was actually discovered by some National Park ranger. Found his body at one of the locations that they were heavily already searching, where they thought they were possibly searching at. So I think that was pretty weird. to me, it kind of seemed more like a cover up, because you called out to the CETO, they're coming out to assist you, and they never got a chance to assist you. I think I think it was canceled, if I'm not mistaken. So you called them,
Whoa, wait a
not use
minute.
them. They didn't help them. No, they didn't come to help them.
Wait, so they made that call and they didn't end up nobody end up coming out to them at all?
No, I think somebody was en route, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly, I think if it was the grandfather or something like that of the owner of the boat, I think he made a call. I think he was connected to the research company, or he knew them or something, knew something of them or something. And I think they canceled the tow, because they actually had another vessel, which was one of their other friends. I think Bart's vessel was the vessel that was used to ended up towing them. I think they used one of their own vessels to tow them. So that the boat made a multiple stops. Like, I could screen share an image to you, which shows you all the routes that the boat took from Horn Island
Yeah.
back to land. Then it went to the Fort Bayou. Then it went to Fort Bayou boat launch. Then it went to another location. And after that, from 7 to 8 move, it went overland to someone's house. The boat was towed there. So that's how the boat ended up moving around to where it went. You know what I mean? I could screen share a shot to you just to show people
Yeah, for
visually
sure.
what
For
we're
sure.
looking at, right? So here, let me just try to screenshot this to you. Hold up. You can share this image.
Okay.
This should be good enough to show y'all what
All
we're
right,
talking
good.
about.
Okay, you guys. So we're looking at the actual route of the boat. Uda, you
Yeah.
got it.
So this is the routes right here, as we can see. So the boat, this is where they all got on the boat and went to Horn Island. The boat leaves at 9:56 from the original dock. Then from 2, the boat arrives at Horn Island. From 2 to 3, the boat leaves at 4:31. It leaves Horn Island, but remember, Nolan's not on the boat right now, right? This is probably around the time they're making the call, right? That they taking on water in the middle of 3. So now from 3 to 4, the boat returns to the original dock on number 4 at 4:35 here. Now from 4:35, remember, this boat was taking on water. They were just beefing. But now from 4
Right.
to 5, the boat leaves the dock and enters Fort Bayou. Now from 5 to 6 at 6 p.m., the boat returns back to the original dock, which is number 6. Then from 6 to 7, you know what I'm saying, the boat goes to Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19. And then this from 7 to 8, when you're looking at it, it gets towed overland to our home in Biloxi. So that's all the movements of the boats. And that's why also the lawsuit that they got going also is going to make them preserve evidence. They want to preserve what the boat tracking, the fuel, how much time the boat fueled up, any transmissions, be it electronic, be it social media, be it phones. This is what the reason for Nolan and his family to actually do the civil suit. It actually starts their own little private investigation and makes them actually be able to preserve evidence. And if certain evidences are not preserved, then if there is a trial, then those things will be presented to the jury itself to say, look, we told them and they were forewarned to have every information here. Even they were warned that, even you know how like your phone has a setting that it deletes certain things after 30 days and stuff like that, they're even warned to delete those things, to take that setting off, because nothing is to be deleted. And this extends not only to the friends that was on the boat, but to family members as well, to anyone that's even representing them as well. Even messages maybe be from investigators and cops who were messaging them things, updates about the case or the situation. So everything is to be preserved. So that's the bulk of it. Not even about money of them doing a civil suit. It's to really preserve the evidences that people can throw away. And yeah, so that's what they're doing with that. But the boat was
that's
making,
one.
you know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now I was just saying the boat's making a lot of moves. Y'all taking on water, y'all all hype, but the boat going here, launching, back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on, man? Like, what?
Absolutely.
Is it an emergency or is it not an emergency? Like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? Just based on the boat routes, I think is very shady. I think it's shady.
Oh, facts. I mean, it doesn't seem like they were, it doesn't seem indicative to people who were worried at all. You know what I'm saying? About their main form of transportation getting back. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, like, I'm not trying to island hop and do all this extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm taking on water and my vessel is compromised. You know what I mean? Then on top of that, we got people who are in the background who are acting like somebody's in distress. So wow, this is, oh my goodness. See, this shit about to, I'm sorry, this is about to make me upset the more and more that I get into it, but it's okay because it's not about I don't know this, I don't know this young man from the can of paint, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if this was your loved one, if this was your child, like that would be like one of my biggest nightmares. Like I don't even know what happened. Okay, I gotta accept the fact that they gone forever, but I can't even know what the hell happened and all the supposed man, I would have been you know what, it really makes me want to be super hyper vigilant, like period, you know what I'm saying? Like I probably won't even like they friends for real unless they I don't know what would make me trust or like or anything. It reminds me of the movie Juice, you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of so many things. Like I said, the perpetrator be so close to the actual situation,
Yep.
giving
Agree.
interviews, volunteering information. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to put no jacket on nobody, but at the same time, it's just like, ain't nothing but death keeping me from somebody's funeral that I care about. I'm not
Yeah.
missing it. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna have to come and
Agree.
get me. You know what I'm saying? Like at the, like fall over the casket type of stuff. Like if you're trying to take me out, if I'm really that worried about my life, they were saying the friends that they were getting, death threats and things like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, friends are friends. And I just don't know. I don't understand this degree of friendship or lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole trip is nuts. Like,
And they got the phone whole time.
and they got the
They got
phone
the
the whole time.
phone, and y'all ain't go run down on Mom Duke. Say, yo, listen, man, Nolan stayed back here. Here's his jack. Here's his phone. Da 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 da. By the time she run down, had to go figure it out herself and run down on people to get the jack and got the phone. After she get the phone, she think like, yo, there's no social media movement. There's nothing going on here. Officer Tatum came out to say that the boys, the young men, ended up showing, one of them or two of them end up showing the night before, because they said they usually took trips to Horn Island for the holiday, but they always like stayed at each other's house or somebody. Like they stayed at one person's house and then they left all together. So even from the night before, they showed Officer Tatum videos from the night before where they're partying or drinking in the pool and all types of stuff like that. But in Nolan's phone, there's no videos or no pictures from the night before. There's no social media activity. There's nothing. When she said that he's a person that's usually on social media, he'd come and wake up out of her bed like, yo, mommy, come take this picture for me real quick. Take a little quick video. Let me snap this. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing. So they had videos and photographs in their phones from the night before they left to go to Horn Island, but his phone has nothing. So he didn't want to document that. Then there's no social media activity at all. What young person is not?
Yeah.
You go out to eat with your kids or anybody, we all on the phone like this. You got to tell them, put down the phone, let's have a little family moment. So that today's day and age. So for a young guy, 18 years old, who's really social media savvy, it just seems very weird that he would have no social media activity and no videos from the night before either. Seems like it was probably scrubbed, in my own opinion.
No, for sure. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. We taking pictures of the plate, you know what I mean? Like all that type of stuff, especially for younger people. They document almost everything, good, bad, indifferent, irrelevant, all kinds of stuff. So the fact that what's in his friend's phone is not matching up with his phone, yeah, that's a huge red flag. You know what I mean? Most of the kids, I mean, and this is ever since I've been hearing about this case, the kids or whatever, they keep whatever card, bank card or whatever, they got their Apple Wallet, things like that. You need to have your phone locked. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my friends didn't know they didn't know my passwords or anything like that. So it's like there would be no way unless you took it into to get it broken open forensically. You know what I mean? For you to actually see it.
Or you have the body with the finger to touch it.
Oh, that's you know what? Yeah. I'll be trying not to go there.
Either one, either you forensically got it broken into, or you around the body. and you could tap it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the fingerprint is everything on these iPhones. If you ain't doing an iris scan, is everything is a print or something like that. So who knows what features he had on his phone. But also, you know what I mean, they also, the second image that I just screen shared to you is actually a report that came straight from the MDMR, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources or Research, where they said that he was drinking heavily. You know what I mean? Like, and who would be the one to testify or to attest that he was drinking heavily besides them, maybe, in my own opinion. And I think that would kind of help to cover their own tracks or help to only feed their own narrative of the story of him disappearing. You know what I mean? So on that report, that's the same thing. Yeah.
See, that's the mind of a child right there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, that's almost like saying, yeah, I'm on Epstein's list, but I don't like anything that he likes. I don't, engage in any of that, type of behavior activity. Like, you are witnessing him drinking heavily because you're drinking heavily with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me. Like I said, I know how this stuff goes. It wasn't like I'm more used to the Midwest bonfire, in the middle of the night type of shit. Not a whole lot of watercraft activities, but I know how this goes. So it's like, you don't, birds of a feather do flock together. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just going to be one person that's partaking of, whatever behavior if everybody or somebody else was doing it with them. You know what I mean? Like, that's just bottom line.
That's bottom line, man. So for Officer Tatum to come out to say that he had cocaine in his system, he's stamping on that he had cocaine in his system. So if he did have cocaine, allegedly, where do you think he would have got that from? And why would he have all these things in his system if they don't have it in their system? So why would you not look at everybody if you want to look at Nolan like that? Look at everybody else the same way then. We weren't there, so we don't know. We don't got the toxicology report. We don't got the lung. We don't got the insides of the throat. We don't have all those things. But if it's kids, we can only say, hey, if he had that in his system, then they had that in theirs as well. So the whole situation's shady. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, everybody's looking kind of questionable at this point. All right, I just want to shout out everybody that's in the building. Either if you're subscribed already or if you're brand new, appreciate y'all for showing up. We got Mel in the building, Milo and Nyla. Shouts out to you. JE90's back. Appreciate you. Who else we have in here? I saw somebody else that was let me see here.
Milo and Nyla.
Joyce Knight. Huh?
Yeah. I see somebody else coming. Milo and Nyla. Salute to you.
Yeah. Yeah, she been active in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Make sure that you hit the like button, double tap if you're on the vertical side, just so you can thumbs up. Helps out the channel, bumping up in the algorithm, because we will be coming with more of updates of the case as they unfold. What else you got in the back for me, Uda?
Yeah, you can share that real quick so we could just get that. That's an actual report while they were looking for Nolan. This is a report that came from a one Will Freeman. The most important part is down here, but I'll read it. As part of our response, the MSDMR requests SAR data related to the missing person, Nolan Wells. The MDMR will use this data to start sonar scans of the area. While information is still limited, we request the following to be used for the data. So then we have the date, which is July 4th. We have the time, 1800 Central Time. We have the location, right? The longitudes, the latitudes, whatever. The subject is the male, black. He's 6 feet 1 tall, and he's 180 pounds. But then he got food intake unknown. But this is on this report, they put alcohol intake heavy. So this is where they're saying that his alcohol intake is heavy.
Wow.
You don't have a body. You don't have nothing. This is when they're looking for him. This is from the 4th. This is the day he went missing.
That's so the day
who would have told y'all? Wow. Who would have told y'all that he's drinking heavy besides the people that he's with? You know what I'm saying?
But it's apparently didn't eat nothing. Like, what?
Shady as hell.
Wow. Okay, hold on, Uda. So, hold on. So this is the original, or this was like an email request for, I'm trying to look at the top.
For them to do sonar, for them to start searching for him, to locate his body, know what they're looking for, the location. Did he eat food? What's going on? Like, what kind of mind, what kind of physical state is he in? and they showed his clothing to what they're looking for. He had on only those blue shorts. As you can see, that said clothing, say shorts only. But something that just stands out on this, you know what I mean? As you can see on the bottom, it came from the MDMR. What sticks out is that they said that he was drinking heavy. And who else would say that besides the friends that was with him, obviously? And that could only probably help their own narrative of the evidence of the situation that transpired, you know what I mean? So I just think it's pretty shady.
Absolutely, man. Whew, my goodness. Like, I don't know, man. And it sounds really far fetched and stuff like that, but like, when you become a parent, of course, you tell your kids, I'll support you, you know what I mean, no matter what you want to do. But being a criminal, come on now. Like, at what lengths are we going to go for our kids, you know what I mean, to keep them out of trouble? So what? They cannot learn a lesson. They can learn to do it better. They can do it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of, I don't understand what parents out here are really trying to do, you know what I mean, in terms of their children. Like, they got to tell the truth. I know that you don't want to see your child in a penitentiary, or something like that, but like, that's when you should have told them to be a better human being. Like, there's always, when it comes to like Nolan, and his side, his family and stuff like that. Like, the victims always get so much, they get put underneath the microscope. But when we look at these shady ass friends, you know what I mean, who weren't friends at all, because we know about frenemies and, people who, staying around you so they can just, collect information, plan on your downfall, like all that type of stuff. Like, to me, it's just like, you can try to do that as much as you want to as a parent to make sure that your child wins, but like, you still know that your child is a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you probably won't let them spend the night at your house. You know what I'm saying? Anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the dynamics are going to change. So it's like, if that's going to be the case, and like, oh my goodness, I don't know. I mean, I understand people's selfishness. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't understand it. I definitely don't agree with it, but whatever.
But imagine coming from affluent lifestyles, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people's doctors and judges and lawyers and
Yeah, it's
all
the
these people
worst.
have careers and shit. So imagine what your child is doing. It's less about the child and more about them and what they're trying to protect for their own careers as well. So all of those things come into play too as well, I think, when you come from certain backgrounds.
This low key reminds me, damn, and I'm sitting here trying to think about the last name of this family. You know who I'm talking about, though. This was a situation maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, happened in South Carolina. What's happening, Keon? It's happened in South Carolina. There was the father who was like like third generation prosecutor or whatever. He ended up having this pill problem, and to cover his tracks, he ended up double homicide, his son and his wife. But the son, like a year before, had this horrible boating accident where him and his friends were drinking. Paul, damn, what is his name? Give me a second. I'm sorry. I knew I should have looked this up.
Paul Murdoch.
Yes, thank you. The Murdaugh family. So when you looked at when I looked at those matter of fact, hold on, I got you right here. I ain't trying to laugh, but I will just show you kind of like a vibe of the entitlement from some of these. Thank you so much. Yes, Alex Cowboy, appreciate you for the for the tip right there, and welcome to the channel for sure, because I was like, that was cold-blooded, shawty. Like, oh my goodness. But no, let me just share the screen of this dude, because it literally shows the entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you see this one right here, when he's on the bed in the hospital, can you see this?
No, we don't see it yet.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on, let me unscreen share some shit too. Remove this from the studio. I'll bring back the boat shit. Share what you're gonna share. Maybe you got too much things in the back.
Okay. Is that what it is? All right, let me see here.
You just try it.
Yeah, that Murdoch story was crazy, shouted. Like I followed every single bit of that. But that's what I'm saying. Like certain things kind of just they certain things stick out to me. Okay, so this is him. So you see him right here in the
Mhm.
hospital, right? This was right after the boating accident happened, and he was trying to get up and do all types of stuff and be combative and everything, and he was the one that was driving the boat. One of the girls got knocked off the boat and wasn't found until like a week later. But when they played the video, of the responders, like the guy, okay, so one of the friends that was there, he was the girlfriend of the girl, he was the boyfriend of the girl who got knocked off the boat, right? And he's going crazy, right? And he's just like, oh, you see, that's Paul Murdoch, like, he's gonna get away with everything, like his father, he thinks it's a fucking joke, like it reminded me of the entitlement, you know what I mean, of some of these kids who don't know what it's like to really hear the word no, who are given all types of provisions. Like boats are not cheap. Boats are not cheap, man. And for you to be a teenager and being given the keys and the permission to for this recreational vehicle, whatever you want to call it, to me it's just it adds to the entitlement, you know what I mean? So I totally understand what you're saying. Like it kind of even ties into the blase-ness of their phone call, you know what I mean, like, and all that stuff. They think that this is gonna blow over, and it's not.
Yeah,
you've
agreed, man.
already you've already put out there, I mean, they're of age, right? And when by the time that this goes to trial, it'll be similar to a Carmelo situation, right? Where he
Yeah,
was a teenager and kind of on the cusp when it happened, but by the time that it's time to pass judgment, oh, you an adult, bro. You know what I'm saying? You are an adult. So, these kids, they don't understand what they're up against. They don't know what they're up against. Yeah, that
they
was
come back
rough,
and they fighting back. They over there fighting back. You can see they just created a Give Send Go. Trying to raise a few hundred
which
thousand
is
dollars or so.
crazy. But I thought that
They've
they were
already done that.
privileged and entitled, though. Uda, why they need money?
Who wants to spend your own money? That's how the rich stay rich, right?
Wow,
Spend somebody else's money. That's one
I
thing.
guess.
But besides that, they said the reason of why they're doing this whole Give Send Go, is from one, because they may be facing some wrongful death suits, which is being brought up by Brain Crump. But besides that, just in case this does go to any trial, they'll have some money to help them out with this whole situation as well. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me get Nancy Grace pulled back up. I had to cancel all that stuff in the back, but I got you. We gonna bring Officer Tater Tot into the building. All right.
Star of the Officer Tatum on YouTube. He's interviewed Nolan's friends. Now,
Mute. Mute.
Oh,
we're
sorry.
about to bring on two experts, each one taking a different viewpoint on that call. But, Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. No matter what you say, just know you're going to get hate mail. Doesn't matter what you say. If the angel Gabriel came down right now and spoke on this case, he would get hate mail. That said, what do you make of that audio, officer?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. If you put the audio within context, it is a impossibility unless these people are prophesying that somehow they're saying Nolan's name or projecting that Nolan is somehow injured, hurt, or killed, because we have witnesses that have come out. When I interviewed Warren, a lot of those kids that I talked to already alluded to this way before the audio came out, that they were gone and people had already saw Nolan after they had left. The young lady, Katie, that he was hanging out with, I saw a text message from her alluded.
Hold on. Now, Jesse, And people can have their thoughts and feelings and opinions and things, but do you know this man to say that Tatum is a saint? And all I said was called him Tater Tot. I called him Tater Tot. How does that make me racist? Or are you being hyper focused? People like to do, to try to shut you up or try to get you to go, oh, okay, well, let me calm down. You're being hyperbolic and calling me racist. I'm black. Okay. I can judge a Tatum, okay, because we know there's different levels, you know what I'm saying, in every community, honey. Okay, so before you start exalting somebody when we're talking about a young man whose life is gone and nobody seems to know what the hell happened, like, this is not the time to deflect and try to be hyperbolic. Okay, so calm down, get yourself a snack,
Please.
and enjoy the show.
And I'm showing facts. I'm showing you facts. I'm bringing up things and showing you actual things in the reports. Maybe things that you may be privy to or not, but I'm actually showing you facts. I'm not just talking out my ass over here. Okay? So you can save your question too in the chat, Alex. Okay? You want my number? I'll give you my number. You can call me and ask me anything about my real life. Okay? Cool. Thank you. I'm an independent journalist. Know that. This is what I do. Just know that. Okay? Cool.
All right, and we're gonna go ahead and get Jesse up on out of here. Don't worry about it, folks. Don't worry about it. I followed Tatum for a while. Guess what? I've been black my whole fucking life. Are you really gonna contest with me? Are you gonna tell me that we don't be having infiltrators? You know what I'm saying? That we don't have people who are paid to keep up or get paid to say certain stuff. Like I said, you are entitled to your opinion. I never condemned or accused anybody that is involved or attached to the situation of being anything. Y'all just don't like it when we see, you know what I'm saying, what we need to be seeing. All right. Don't tell me that I'm crazy just because I know what the fuck I'm looking at. That's what you don't get to do. All right. So then nobody say these boys are guilty. Nobody said that. I said, oh shit, here comes Tater Tot, and you flipped your whole wig. Like, I think some of y'all really need to get a grip on things and just understand and know that you are not living vicariously in a prosecutor or a judge's body that's attached to this case. So you know pretty much as I do. All right. All right. We good? We here to learn. We here to grow. Yay. Let's keep going.
To the fact that she never saw him get on that boat at all. We have video of the boat that we shared on our social media page, and it shows all the occupants on the boat, and Nolan was not there. And so if a person thinks that they've heard something on the audio, they have to compare it with context. Maybe they said, is it dead? Talking about items that could potentially have died or damaged on the boat, given the fact that they were sinking. So I think people need to put this in context and reevaluate what they're listening to on the video, because if you are going to make a staunch...
So he's trying to equate the transcript to them saying that, like, what, the motor or the boat is dead? Like,
yeah, they're trying to lean that way to say, like, even if we hear something saying, is it dead or is he dead? They kind of lean it to say, maybe, is it dead? As far as maybe the motor or the bilge pump, because we know that they were having issues with the bilge pump. Not to say that can't be any possibilities, right? But when we listen to some of the other parts, what's the other things saying then? You know what I mean? If that makes sense, then they have to make sense of all the other parts of the actual transcription. But again, that's what the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources came up with, as well as Janetta Brantley's enhanced audio as well. So, until we get all the way 100% clarifications through everything, I think everybody has a right to their own speculation about what they think they've heard on that audio.
Because I'm just like, okay, I mean, according to, to the actual source that it came from, that is an official transcript. Like, it's like, I mean, are we going to start questioning court stenographers as well at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, this information wasn't just pulled out the sky. It wasn't just left up for interpretation. It came with a transcript. Doctor. Everybody trying to be a Officer Tatum. So it's just like, I don't know, because the more I've been kind of following him as well. That's why I'm like, I'm so glad I booted the other person, because this guy right here, he has a huge like entitlement type of complex. Like, well, they should have talked to me first. And who the fuck are you, first of all? Are you a part of the the force that's actually taking care of this case or in charge of this case? Or you just, you know, kind of like a legal expert is because you were in law enforcement? But expecting or telling people who went through a loss, well, shoot, they should have talked to me first. Said who? Nobody put out the newsletter, bro, that you was the official, you know what I'm saying, the unofficial official person in this situation. And the way that he just like, he's rolling it out like, oh, I've seen this, and the kid's shown me that. And how did you get privy to all this information that nobody else is privy to, sir?
He already believes him. That's what it just seems like. So if anybody's biased, it's him. He's one of the first people that's biased because he's already leaning on a side. And then he tries to always bring up that he's an officer, which I can understand that he was. But if you are an officer, and he said he were here to catch the bad guys, if there was a bad guy would probably be within this bunch. Right? They probably would be within that bunch, or if one or all would be in that bunch. But it seems like he's already trying to absolve them of anything. And he's basically taking their sides already. You know what I mean? He believes them, what they're saying. He's seen videos and photos from their phones. He's taken that to believe that. He's not really speaking towards why Nolan never had no pictures and no videos and stuff like that. And he just can't explain some of those things, you know what I mean?
At all. But we gon' oh, I get it. I get the whole illusion of confidence, right? If you don't tell yourself you the shit, who else will? You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So it's like, I get to where he, like I said, I understand where people coming from, but like, oh, all right, I'm gonna keep on listening for a little while. But to your knowledge, what role does this man play when the actual case, or he's just a commentator like a lot of other people?
Yeah, basically, that's what he
Okay.
is. He's a commentator. He's one of the
Okay.
first people to get an actual interview with the young men as well, besides his own commentary that he's been covering on the case. So I would think that as far as anyone goes, he's kind of like the spokesperson for them in a way. Because if the kids didn't come out and speak, then he would be the one that's speaking kind of on their behalf, kind of like how that minister guy was speaking in Carmelo's half. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the one that's speaking towards their sides and vocalizing things that they're said to him or what they have showed to him. So let's say that the young guys Warren never did an interview or none of them ever spoke out. We would be having his testimony or his words of everything that has transpired. You know what I mean?
The show. Shouts out to Milo and Nala. She said Batum Tatum is being paid by that side. But see, this is the part that they didn't pay attention to. You actually gotta pick a Negro and hire a Negro that the rest of us can believe in. We don't believe in him. Okay, so that's money squandered. You know what I'm saying? Like, any old black person will not do. Okay, like, you need to get somebody who is actually credible and respected within our community. Like, because I don't know who this person is. You know what I'm saying? They just picked a random dude who was just like, you know what? You look like you're trying to get rich quick. Come with me. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
sorry, that's just my goofiness. Let me go ahead, let him speak for himself.
Stance in the wrong direction, in my opinion, by saying they're obviously talking about Nolan. It is incredibly impossible. One more thing, real quick, that when you look at where they were at when they made the phone call and their GPS coordinates, it literally put them on the island. And we know, and not on the physical island, but really close proximity to the island. And we know, because we have another video of Nolan being out there and also all the other boats surrounding him, that this would have had to happen very near to hundreds of people in hundreds of different boats. So somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring on that boat.
I hear what you're saying, Officer Brandon Tatum. That last part that you said, that there were hundreds of people around and they would have seen what happened, that part I disagree with that. John Mobley joining us, veteran trial lawyer out of South Carolina. John, take off your defense hat one moment and let's address that statement. Do I have to say Tupac? That just comes off the top of my head. Crimes happen all the time in a crowded area and nobody sees anything. Either they say they didn't see anything, or they really didn't see anything, because it all blends in, right? It all blends in. I've had a little boy thrown off the 3rd level of the Mall of America almost to his death. He did die and he was brought back to life. Nobody saw what happened. A guy threw him over. People were all over the mall. The food court was crowded. Nobody saw. I had like 2 witnesses. So I think part of it is, Mobley, you don't expect to see something. And so your mind is not interpreting, it's not intercepting what you're physically seeing. And again, we don't know what happened. We don't know why Nolan Wells has a red mark on the back of his occipital. We don't know. Was he hit? Did he fall? Then fall off a boat? It could have been any number of things. Some nefarious, some an accident, some negligent. My point is, just because there's a lot of people around, that does not guarantee you witnesses, Mobley. You know that better than anybody with all the cases you've tried.
Well, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. I think there are 2 things I want to say to address that. The first part, I would agree with you that, yes, a lot of people can be around and they can notice something, and something can happen rather, and people not see it. However, I think the way that the human mind works, we would all agree, is we perceive things all the time, okay? And we may perceive something that at the time we perceive it, it is not deemed significant. However, in this case, I do believe that if someone did see something that they didn't pay particular attention.
First of all, look how far they had to zoom in just to see blips of people. Like, that's a lot of land. I mean, I think, I don't know, in a perfect world, everybody would just see everything, that happened. People would be honest and forthright and just come forward and tell the truth in the perfect world, right? But come on now, like, we all knew what happened at Freaknik. Ain't nobody see nothing, but a whole bunch of stuff was happening, okay? Like, things happen in clubs or in crowded areas where there's movies, music playing, spring break type of, events and things like that. Like, oh my goodness, he's already started off like, well, shoot, nobody else saw anything. What were they looking for? Was everybody else drinking heavily? Because I can guarantee you they probably were.
Yeah, I would only guess that. Young people, that's what young people do, man. Young people drinking and they chilling, man. But now we have, I think, a couple of people, they haven't been named yet, but they have been coming out to say, like, some people witnessed him on the beach when the boat wasn't there now. But those couple of people, if they're 1 or 2 people, they haven't been identified yet. But now some people are saying that Nolan was on the beach when the boat was gone. And it's just all over the place as far as information goes. You know what I mean? Where was those people from the very beginning? Why is it just recently now that TMZ reported that? You know what I mean? And yeah, just a bunch of funny things happening so far.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm just like, I have no choice but just to kind of just react to it. You know what I'm saying? Just off the dome or whatever, because like the information, of course, is more the facts or more privy to prosecutors, defense, stuff like that, as they should be. I don't think that the facts need to be really released to the general public at this point. It's still too fresh. You know what I'm saying? This hasn't even happened a month ago. You know what I mean? So like,
that can mess up an investigation. You know what I mean? Information getting out, leaking, all of these things can contaminate an investigation. So I can understand if investigators are doing, understanding that or going about it that way. But as long as they're turning over every stone and actually doing what they have to do, I think that's the major parts. That is everything that has to be said about everything. But I guess we won't know a lot of more things until the actual grand jury gets all of the evidence as far as lungs and inside his throat and whatever other evidences or things that they're privy to. I guess we'll be made aware when the grand jury does get those things in their hand. And then from there, they'll know if they're going forward with any sort of trial or if there are some suspects that should or would be named when we get to that juncture.
Man, but you remember what I told you when it comes to, I mean, it was weird as hell for me. And like I said, I was just mostly hearing it like through the grapevine and stuff like that. But when they find the young man's body, his throat and his lungs, like that's the most vital part when you're doing an autopsy to determine if a person has drowned or not. You would either find water in the lungs or you wouldn't. You would
Yes.
find substances in the throat or at least in the windpipe or you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's where you find it.
it's very
man.
strategic. Very strategic. That wasn't
That's
no
where you
I don't
find it.
believe in coincidences, Uda. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Life is life, Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun, so I don't believe anything's a coincidence. I think everything happened over and over on Earth. But yeah, especially with the throat, because if someone's choked, then you could also see what happened within the throat muscles and stuff as well. But if a person is drowning, every time you take in water, your throat muscles begin to spasm. So these are other ways that they can locate if you actually choke, if you drown, and different things like that. So them withholding that got a lot of people speculating a lot of different things. But they said they're not going to do nothing with it. Jackson County said they're not releasing that until that's brought before a grand jury, all the evidence. So we're just going to have to be in the dark on that. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. All right, we got Pilot J on the vertical side. Appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. He says he wants to know what my theory on everything, what events led up to his death, where was his body from July 4th to July 6th. Honestly, this is my first like real like episode or stream of even covering this. Like I'm not well versed in it. The more that I keep hearing different details, they definitely conflict. So somebody lying. That's definitely that's my theory in a nutshell right now. You know what I mean? I believe in patience and just waiting for the information to roll out, but somebody is definitely lying. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's making sense. You know what I mean? Was he on the island when his friends left? Was he on the boat when they called for help? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Like, it's just too many conflicting details right now for me to give an actual theory on what I think happened. But I mean, Uda, if you want to you want to entertain him with your crack at it.
But yeah, just based on what Ben Crump and many people are saying, you know what I mean? So we don't know till all the facts come out. But as far as his body goes, you know what I mean? His body ended up being in a place where they were searching heavily. So that's like a strange coincidence, right? Especially with tides, low tides, and all these things happening. His body was actually in a place where they actually was searching vigorously. You know what I'm saying? So that's what
and didn't see him the first time, huh?
You know what I mean? So like that's what got Ben Crump and them saying like, yo, what the hell's going on here, bro? The body popped back up in a location where everybody was searching at from the beginning. All of these other factors that's coming in, be it the phone, be it this, people not being toward and giving up that information. And if they really was your friends, you think that one of the first things a person would want to do is help the mother and go towards the mother and say, you know what I mean? Listen, I got his phone. I got this, you know what I mean? I got his keys. I got anything I have, you know what I'm saying? And kind of be forthcoming with those types of information. So then based on the audios that we're hearing, I just think it's a lot of shady circumstances. I just don't think that we've got the full truth yet. That's just me personally. I just don't feel that we have the truth yet. I just still think that there's so much more to be uncovered in this case. And I just think that the family and Ben Crump and them are taking some of the right steps, especially as far as that civil suit, which can preserve some of the evidence that they cannot delete things off social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, anything as far as electronic emails, anything like that, as far as physical evidence, as far as boat logs, as far as the fueling up of the boat, so many parts of information that now they're most definitely in charge of, and they gotta provide it come the time, they're going to have to provide that. Even your cache, you got cache things on your phone that you got to delete or you may delete. All of those things are said to be preserved in the documentation. So I think if there is something to be uncovered, we may find it in the next few coming up days or weeks.
And see, one thing that people really don't understand is, I mean, you can try your best to delete something from a device, but it can still be found. Shouts out to the electronic forensics team.
Yeah,
Trust me.
They just locked up 2 people, bro. Based on electronics, based on all of that stuff, man. 2 people are in custody right now, federal custody, based on IPs, based on devices, based on star 6-7 calls and all of that. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the forensic department and the people that analyze forensics, these people know what they're doing. So yeah, if there's anything that needs to be, and that's why Ben Crump was making a major part of that to say we want to invest, we definitely want a full investigation into Nolan's phone as well as the friends' phones as well. You know what I mean? So we don't understand or know what the hell's going on in their phones, but they're not police to go and take their phones, right? So with the civil suit, you get to preserve any information that could possibly be in not only their phones, because it extends from the friends to the parents or family members and anyone that's representing them, being lawyers and anybody else. So all telecommunications, electronic communications, emails, physical evidence, and text messages, whatever the case, all of those things are to be preserved. And if the time comes and you don't have that information and this actually does go to a trial, that lack thereof will be presented to the jury, and it would seem that you are actually trying to hide something instead of actually preserve it because they've been forewarned.
Well, there you have it, folks. So we just, we're going to see exactly how much discipline these young folks gonna have, you know what I mean, in the upcoming weeks. Like I said, it seems like most people are just trying to save their own tails, whether it be on the children's side or the parent side. But we gonna find out. We gonna find out. Y'all just stay patient, y'all. I know it's frustrating. Let's just stay patient.
Into involving Nolan Wells. Once all of this has come out, the way the mind works is it'll trigger what they saw before, because now it becomes significant. Okay, so I do agree that people can perceive things and not pay attention to them, but when something significant happens later, sort of like being robbed, you're not paying attention what everybody's wearing, but if that when somebody robs you and later on you have to recall what that person was wearing, what they looked like, you can recall it because it's important at that point. But at the time they perceived it, it was not important. So that's what I want to make sure I discuss. And I do want to address, you talk about the red mark on the back of his head. I mean, I think that is a red herring. That's something that everybody kind of latched onto because they're so desperate for any information that might be related to the cause of his death. But even the only pathologist that conducted the autopsy did not
him up. Mobley, are you a medical doctor? Yes, no.
I know how to examine forensic evidence based on the countless homicides that I've tried.
Not hearing, yes, no. You're not a medical doctor.
I'm a juris doctor.
Are you a medical examiner?
I love her for this. I swear, I would be one of them type of that's not what I asked you, sir. Sir. He just doing that nervous smile, nervous grin. Oh, child. Yeah, answer the question, please. Not if you know how to interpret. That's not what I asked you. Goodness gracious.
For real. Nancy on it. She's on it. I know that much. She's most definitely on it.
Mm-hmm. Y'all gotta stop sleeping on Nancy, man. Get over the twang and her drawing stuff out. She be coming with them facts, man. They'll crack your mama's back. Let's go.
I am not.
No. Put up the back diagram, the back of the head of Nolan Wells from the second autopsy right now. You know what? I give it to you, Mobley. You're a great trial lawyer. A medical examiner, you ain't. And I don't know why you're saying people are latching onto this, grabbing at straws. I'm looking right at it, man. Should I believe you or my lying eyes? I am looking at the second autopsy. And I have questioned multiple actual medical examiners, actual doctors that say that means something. Put him up again. In what world would the first medical examiner remove Nolan's throat if it did not have something probative about it, something that proves something? Did they remove his toe? No. His elbow? No. His eyeball? His nose? No. They took his throat. Do not tell me that a medical doctor, which you are not, took a throat out of this young man because it means nothing. And then, you know what? I can't even hear you. Straight out to Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor of forensics, death investigator.
She said, get him out of here, coach. Like, she didn't want to hear nothing else that nigga had to say. That was funny, but straight up though, like, that's just like I said in any other situation. When I was looking at the Kendrick Johnson situation, there should be nothing missing. There's no excuse why you do an autopsy. That means you just there to, okay, you probably you're gonna be asked to remove body fluids, right? So you got to drain them of the blood, you know what I'm saying? But that's about all that you're supposed to take with you. You ain't supposed to take anything else with you. Just like with Kendrick, this boy's body was stuffed with newspaper. Who told y'all to take organs or sections out of the, like, come on now. That's not to me, that's not an autopsy anymore. That's a dissection. Y'all can call it semantics if you want to, but it makes no sense for any piece of the body to be missing when an autopsy was asked to be performed. And that's it.
Sorry.
You good, Uda?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That second doctor did not highlight that in red for nothing. That doctor is not grabbing at straws, as Mobley said. I don't know why he's saying that.
No, you're right. He has purpose. We have purpose in everything that we do in the medical legal world. And so when you see this highlighted area, it's unique in the way he has diagrammed it here. He even demonstrates it that it has almost like margins to it. And, you know, that's what has left a big question for us, because it's not like it's diffuse all over the place where you've got these kind of spotty alignments. He's got a margin. It almost looks like a rectangle, doesn't it? Well, when we begin to see things like that, we think about patterns. And that's some of the questions that have yet to be answered. But what he does say in his relative to the second examination is that he did a multi-layered dissection. Now, this area had not been dissected by the ME's office in Mississippi. So what he's doing is he's going layer by layer. We're talking about the skin. We're talking about the subcu fat. We're talking about the muscle.
Told you about that dissection. I know a little something. See, I can't stomach and probably could never stomach the ER. But yeah, when I was in high school, like anatomy, physiology, going on field trips to see cadavers, I want to hold the liver. Hell yeah, that was me, right? But when there's live people attached to it, and sometimes children, you know, brought in for just catastrophic or drastic type of injuries, I don't think that would be cut out for that. So yeah, but I be knowing my terminology, the dissection, you know, multi-layer. So you got to go through this, like he said, the skin, which is the, you know, with the epidermis, the dermis, get down to the actual fat layer, the muscle, and then you get to the bone. Yeah, Dollar Washer straight up. I don't know who, but he's definitely lying. Let's hear what the actual expert has to say. The person who is a medical doctor, not the skinning and grinning kind. See, like I said, they do us no justice when they keep picking the wrong Negroes to platform. Y'all got to give us somebody we can believe in, all right? pay the right person if that's what you really want to do, because these imposters and these bad faith actors that y'all keep on choosing, we not buying them, because we know our people. Okay, we know what it looked like, and we know what it don't look like. But let's continue to hear about this red area that's behind. And see, I bet that was an area that was probably chosen on purpose as well, because he had a full head of hair. A lot of people don't think that people gonna peek underneath the hair, you know what I'm saying, and see what the hell has happened.
Yeah, we don't know, bro. You know, who knows if he hit his head or who knows anything, you know, until they really break that down, you know. That's a whole nother thing that needs to be broken down. What was the cause of the discoloration? And they haven't even determined that, even though the autopsy has been complete. It's completed now, but it's still undetermined. And any facts that have to do with any of it will be going to the grand jury first before it's made privy to anyone else.
There was some interesting, I guess, theories earlier on in the comments section, I guess, with individuals who might have been asphyxiated with rope, and how it might look like that on the back and the front, like the front neck, like the neck area and the back of the head. I don't know. I might have to look into that one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're cutting off. Never mind. Let me not even go into that theory, because we don't know. It's too early. I don't even want to put that shit out there.
True.
Musculature that's under there, and yes, there is musculature under there. And what his conclusion is, Nancy, is that there's significant decomposition at this point in time, so he cannot make a determination about these markings one way or another. He needs more information, and admittedly, in this second autopsy, he says this is pending investigation, and that's key here.
Okay. Joe Scott Morgan.
Yes.
He, the first medical examiner, removed the throat.
Yes.
No other part of the body, except for the lungs, removed the throat and the lungs. We know why he took the lungs. I don't have to be a death investigator like yourself with 10,000 death investigations under my belt to know why I took the lungs, to see if no one drowned. But the fact that someone has lungs full of water does not tell me how they got in the water. Did he fall? Was he hit?
Boom. Ooh, I'm smart. I swear I haven't even watched this yet. I'm sorry.
Was he held under? Was it an accident? Did you see that video? Pull it up if you can, control room, of all those ships, all those boats out there. If he was between one of those boats, lost his footing, went under, got the riptide, no one may have noticed. All right? No one may have noticed. Look at all that. And there were apparently 300 or so people out there. This is just a tiny microcosm. It's July the 4th. Everybody's at Horn Island having a good time. So it could be any number of ways he landed under the water. But my point is, that's why they took the lungs. Why the throat?
Well, because the throat and the throat area, as you're referring to it as, it's actually the organs of the neck. We're talking about the larynx, the pharynx, our windpipe, essentially, and everything else that's connected therein. That's the conveyance to get into the lungs. So one of the things, what they're looking at here, Nancy, to put it very bluntly, is they're looking for any possibility that his breathing could have been compromised. Well, how is that compromised? Well, when you begin to think about, if you put your hand in the midline of your throat, right here, okay, you begin to think about the trachea, which is encompassed right here. Was it compromised in any way? Are there any focal areas of hemorrhage? Has it been crushed? You would go up into the neck. I suspect that the tongue was probably removed as well. You're going to look at the hyoid, which, did not accompany the body. But all of this has been retained. There's nothing abnormal about the state retaining the organs of the neck. This happens very, very frequently in cases like this because they want to be able to go back and examine it. And also for the future, they either want to get a consult on it or it has evidentiary probative value here moving forward with any kind of case in the future.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I call him?
I was like, what the hell happened? Okay, let me fast forward this to it. It must be her little commercial. Yep. Damn, that's long. Okay. All right. Shouts out to Nancy Grace and her promo, but we had to fast forward. Appreciate everybody that showed out and showed up. Sorry if I haven't been paying attention. I've been trying to stay locked in on the actual facts of the case and things like that. Moderate on the vertical side. Y'all know how it goes. But appreciate everybody that's here. And y'all know if I could, I would speak to every single one of y'all. Let's keep going with the review.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
Unless you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
We're bringing in our forensics experts, but back to Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson PD. He is the star of the Officer Tatum on YouTube. He has interviewed Nolan's friends. Okay, you're saying that I am looking at, and others are looking at this out of context. My mind is open. You may be right. And I believe, Officer Tatum, you are specifically referring to the words, let's see the transcript of the audio as I read this, please. You're referring to alleged statements. Sure, he's dead? Is he dead? Nolan. OMG. Nolan, don't die. Then wake the F up. I thought he was on the check his chest. Now, to you, Officer Tatum, you believe that there is an innocent explanation. My mind is open. And that innocent explanation would be what?
Well, I think that if you are convinced without context that they are talking about Nolan, you're going to hear certain things and perceive it. I mean, the bilge pump is damaged. They could have been saying, don't die, or is it dead, referring to the bilge pump or the bilge pump. And they could have been talking about a battery. They could have been saying no, and people think they said Nolan. The only reason that I deviate from the transcript is because there are witnesses that have said they've seen Nolan after the boys had already left and after the call was already made. And also, I put my detective mind on, when I look at the reasoning, but why would they be calling and giving GPS coordinates and talking to this dispatch for 8 minutes if they're best friend whom I've spoke to these boys. They've showed me pictures. They were emotional about Nolan's death. I was there during the funeral, at least there with them when the funeral was going on, and they were devastated that they couldn't go to his funeral. I perceive that it doesn't make sense if they had killed their friend in a malicious way or he was dead, that they wouldn't just simply ask for help instead of trying to cover it up and calling for a tow and talking for 8 minutes. I mean, all of those things, plus the witnesses, it just doesn't add up. And I just wish people would be open-minded to saying, let me rewatch it and let me put it within context that Nolan cannot be on the boat because witnesses seen him afterwards, and let me re-listen to it and try to put it in perspective.
So you're saying witnesses.
Let me guess. These witnesses are people that have not been tracked down or given official statements. The ones who saw him on the island after his friends left. Like, pretty much the only people who have been talking and giving interviews at this point have been the friends that he was actually supposed to be with, right, Uda? Hey, no chaser, what's going on? I think Uda stepped away for a second. All right, so yeah, I think, like I said, he went there with a certain group of people, but now he's saying that, okay, well, there were some other people who saw him. Okay, well, what's their names, and did you get official statements? Or we just, I mean, because it just sounds like Officer Tatum is almost on the same type of juvenile, he said, she said, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, what I heard was, like, that's what he sounds like, to be completely honest. Like, he's starting to lose his credibility because, again, what business do you really have dipping and dabbling in another police office or police department's jurisdiction? Okay, they're not just going to make you privy to certain stuff. You know, I know you probably wanted to see those things. You probably wanted to believe those things. But who are these eyewitnesses who saw him on the boat after his friends had left? That's really what I want to know the most. That's what I want to know, because there's always somebody that's being thrown back in the mix. And it's just like, they're all mystery people. They're all mystery folks. Meanwhile, you know, the Barts, the Warrens, the Katys, they're being leaked. But all these other people who are, you know, who are so vital to the case and so vital to the investigation, they don't have no names. That's super, super weird. Super weird. What's up, Black Beauty? Good to see you. Hope that you're having a great afternoon. What's today? Because I'll be forgetting. Sunday. Okay. I was about to mess up and say Saturday. All right, y'all. Everybody that's in the building, please make sure that you hit that like button. Support the channel if you haven't already. It's $, the LA Project. Subscribe, like, all the tings.
Yeah, all them things. Do all of that.
All them things. But let me ask, because I think I asked a question when you stepped away. Pretty much the only people that have been questioned or who are kind of like, I guess seen as the last people who Nolan was with, they all were on the boat with him, right?
Basically, and you know, they say that Katie was like one of the last people, at least the young men on the boat was saying that Katie was the last person with him. So she'd been getting a lot of hate mail herself. But Katie was saying basically like he was going on a boat, you know what I'm saying? So, and basically she made an acquaintance with him, but he said that I guess he was going to get ride with another group of friends maybe. But so yeah, so between Katie and the boys that's on the boat, whether there's any other friend that's there, those are basically the last people that made any contact with Nolan. But now I think TMZ reported a couple of days ago that there's some, I guess, I don't know if 1 or 2 people that came out, they said, here's another development in the Nolan Wells case. TMZ have learned evidence apparently shows Nolan Wells was still on Horns Island after the boat left. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're not saying who these people are or if there's 1 or 2 people, because they said, we are told now that there are 2 witnesses interviewed by law enforcement claim that they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. TMZ also enhanced the audio from Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking. And some people believe that they can hear something saying, like, is he dead? Like I'm thinking, or a lot of us are thinking we hear on the audio. They're speculating. People on that side are speculating that they said, is it dead? Be it the bilge pump or the motor. I think that works for the boat. But now there's supposed to be two alleged friends, or not witnesses, not friends, two alleged witnesses that are saying that they saw Nolan on the beach. And this came up only 6 days ago. So remember, we're already in August 2nd, and only 6 days ago, now we're being privy to these two people that law enforcement has spoken to say that they saw Nolan on the beach after the boat was gone. So when was they made privy to that? Was that from the very beginning? Did they come forward with this information? Is it just now by chance? So that's what they reported. So that's what they're saying.
Okay, because yeah, that was pretty much like my question, because like I said, Officer Tatum, he sounds like he's just, the way that he speaks as if he's just he's privy to everything. And it's just like, really? You know what I mean?
He's already took a side, basically. That's what it seems that way. It just seems that he's not an unbiased party, you know what I mean? It seems like he's taking a side, and the side that he's taken is on the young men's side. He's already come out to say that he thinks that Nolan was on drugs and everything else. So it just seems that he's on the side that he's on already. So we can't look at him as an unbiased person. You know what I'm saying? We just can't look at him as an unbiased person. It seems like he's taking the side of the young men. Some people could allege, hey, he was paid off and anything else. You know what I mean? You can make your allegeds as you want to make your allegedlys. But what I do know is just that he seems heavily on the other side. And he's looking like he's made his line in the sand, for lack of a better word, no pun intended, but of what side he's on.
No, for sure. For sure. And this is a good comment. This is what I love about my ladies in the chat. They be listening, okay? They be paying attention. El Boogie says, so they be telling a water pump to get up and wake up? Facts, El Boogie. Hell no. That's not how you would talk to an appliance. You know what I'm saying? That's not how you would talk to an electronic, you know what I mean? Unless it was like, I don't know, maybe a old school, you know what I'm saying, radio with the tape player. You might bang it, hit it on, you know what I'm saying, hit it on the top a couple times. But no, like, that's usually not how that works. Good catch. Good catch, El Boogie.
Saw him afterwards, after that call, or did you mean to say witnesses saw him elsewhere?
Yeah, no, witnesses saw him on the island after the call. After the boys had left around 4:30, witnesses have seen Nolan alive on the island after that. So, you know, that puts Nolan alive after that. And I think that people should be focused on, okay, now let's interview and talk to people and consider what did they see, because we're already past the point of Warren and Wyatt's boat and all of those things being involved.
Officer Tatum, I had so many trial judges from all the cases I tried in different courtrooms, but one particular judge, my favorite, Luther Alverson, he had a particular jury charge. And I've heard it so many times, I've memorized it. He said to the jury at the end of the case, after the closings, it is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth and impugn perjury on no one. So, what I'm trying to do is reconcile what you're saying with what I'm hearing. I hope Nolan Wells died by accident, but I'm not shutting down our crime stories investigation until I know. Now, I want to address this sound. To Joe Scott Morgan, a professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon. At Jacksonville State University, they have a world-class Crim Pro lab and setup. In fact, I've called on Morgan many times to help me recreate crimes in their labs. Star of Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, you've been on so many death scenes, trying desperately to get to my experts, but I got to lay the foundation, as I would do in court, before I
Oh, so he kind of cold with it. Like he actually tries to recreate the scenes and shit to actually see how what is possible in terms of cause of death. That's a cold motherfucker right there.
Yes, he
Everybody
is.
ain't cut. Yeah, everybody's not cut for that work, man. That's what I'm telling you. That's like, shit. I would have had a Doc McStuffins, you know what I'm saying, coat on with the stethoscope and all that stuff, but I could not stomach the ER, Uda. I could not.
Everybody got their work cut out for this, man. And in this whole situation and investigation, you know.
So I say, shouts out to everybody who got their little niches and their interests, you know what I'm saying, and their positions as well. Just to bring, and I wish that some of these amazing people could be everywhere at the same time. You know what I'm saying, just to help everybody out. But shouts out to them for sticking to the plan, sticking to their passion, you know what I mean? Even if it's
Yeah.
morbid, even if it's unpleasant, it's helpful. It helps people every single
Yeah.
day. So shouts out to those people as well. They're not just, you know, the lawyers and the judges and stuff. They're the people, you know, like the forensics and the prosecutors and the people who have to do all the autopsies and see this stuff, like, and try to make sense of it as best as they can. Shouts out to them, man, for real.
Yeah, well, shout out to them for real.
Bring in a piece of evidence. Joe Scott, people do crazy things when somebody dies. They panic. They think it's their fault, whether it is or it isn't. They get rid of the body. They lie. They do all sorts of things. The cover up is very often worse than what the initial incident was. People panic. So the reaction of the friends to Nolan potentially having passed, that reaction doesn't mean that much to me because you don't know what somebody's going to do under those circumstances. So hearing them on the boat, I hear what Tatum is saying, and it's reasonable. But how people act in that scenario is not always reasonable.
No, it's not, particularly when they're faced with somebody that's in distress and they are under the influence of alcohol. And that's going to play a huge role in this from an investigative standpoint. And not to mention, probably a group of people that don't have a lot of experience with alcohol. We're talking about a group of underage kids. We're not talking about upper end college kids here. We're talking about kids that are 18 years old. They've been getting hammered out there on this island, and that's a problem, Nancy.
Well, you're right. Okay, not that Tatum.
Shoot, that's what they let the privilege do. Like that they make it seem like their life is so stressful and everything else that they just, you know, oh, it's okay for you to indulge in a beer too. Here, let me get you an 18 pack, buddy. Like I've heard so much shit, man. Like it's ridiculous. You would think that these kids gotta go work from sun up to sundown in order to make ends meet for their families, the way that they are just coddled and enabled the way that they are. Like, and I'm looking at Nolan, he has a baby face. I don't give a damn how old he is, or I'm sorry, yes, how old he is. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a baby face. Almost every single picture that I look at him, I can see the child him. And that's another part that just be bothering the hell out of me, because I do have this this ability to it helps me to relate with humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter really who you are. If I look at you long enough, I can imagine what you look like as a child. You know what I'm saying? I really could. And the fact that we all started as children, like, I don't know. I don't understand the disregard for life. I really don't. I can't get with it, man.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I was gonna say something else, but I think I let the video go for a little minute. Hold on, let me see here. No, I'm gonna let him keep going. Yeah, it's a lot of that culture. I mean, That's why I didn't even really like when I first moved to Georgia and went to high school and stuff. I was at a mostly like white high school. I don't remember hardly nobody from that school. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime they had parties or kickbacks or whatever, it was just drinking at somebody's, whatever. Their parents let them go to Cancun. They let them go to Panama City. You know what I mean? Like all these places for spring break, and they come back with all these pictures, and they're fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't do nothing but drink. I don't even think I think the first time I got drunk was off of Smirnoff Ice, Uda, when I was 18 years old. And I didn't even get drunk. I got tipsy. I was like, ooh, this feels different. But I wasn't I wasn't drunk, but Smirnoff Ice. Can you believe that?
Real talk, man. Real talk. But it just seems funny that they're pushing on him. And they're not pushing it that the drinking, like they were all drinking or they all could have been heavily intoxicated. It just seems that it's more information pushing towards Nolan being heavily intoxicated and no one else. You know what I mean? When we know young people, they probably, take on a beer or two or whatever they drinking or whatever the case may be. And even Tatum himself said that they were drinking all together, and he had videos that he's seen that was in their phones of them in the pool and acting like young guys the night before they even went to Horn Island. But no one's really stressing that they were drinking or taking any substances, but everything has just been put on Nolan Wells. So
Because this is well, let me stop. I don't want to be this is what certain people do. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I just brought up the Paul Murdaugh situation. Those were no that he was a 19-year-old, but had been drinking to the point where he had like his mom was worried about him having swollen feet and stuff like that, because like his liver and stuff was in such bad shape. Like it wasn't even filtering for him like it should be, and he was 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, some of these people, like, it's just a part of their culture, but it's just like with anything else, you know what I mean? Like when we do it, it's just, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's super, it's emphasized, it's looked at, you know what I mean? Like, but they're the young women over there, they can be loose and they can escape the stigma of being a whore. A lot of the guys, they can be drug addicts and alcoholics, and as long as they graduate college and get a decent job, they can escape that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just certain communities and certain groups of people who can get away with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be completely honest. But then when they try to look at us like, oh, well, I don't know why they do it. Oh my goodness, it's just so different. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because them kids really don't have, like I said, no legitimate reason to be so stressed out if these are privileged children. But
yeah.
What's up, OG Do Dirty? We got Blanco in the building. Ayo, Blanco. Where do y'all be thinking of? Okay, obviously he's on his own program right now. We're speaking about Nolan Wells and going over this enhanced audio, I'm sorry, that Nancy Grace has. So a man can never be a hoe. That's kind of irrelevant, but pop off, bro. People be having their own conversations. Hey, Zyrax, how are you? I didn't even see you snuck in the back door. Kelvin talking about you still on this. This is my first day talking about this. Like I said, what do y'all be smoking? Like smoking or drinking? How about y'all hit the Cash App, huh? Ain't got no support yet, but y'all sitting here trying to, oh, you still on this? I can't talk about this. That's crazy. Guess he just want me to talk about ass and titties all day. Club life and what positions I like in bed. I don't know.
Probably.
type shit. All right, let's get back to Nancy.
In his own right, is not an expert. He's a former police officer with Tucson. Joe Scott, an expert. Mobley, an expert. But now let's go to our digital experts. First, Todd Shipley joining us, digital cybercrime expert, former Detective Sergeant, Reno PD, 25 years in law enforcement, author of Surviving a Cyber Attack, Securing social media, protecting your home, author of Investigating Internet Crimes, an intro to solving crimes in cyberspace. He says nothing he hears on this audio shows that the audio has been altered. Okay, Shipley, hit it.
Well, we have to look at the fact that the audio that we received is, again, one of those that was released by the press and is probably been stepped on multiple times, just like we had last year with another famous
Did you
video
say that was released by the press? Hold on, Tom. That was not released by the press.
It was.
Ooh, don't get mad. Don't get on Nancy's bad side. You better speak your speech correctly. See, and this is what happens. It's what happens to people. You know what I mean? Who just they're not paying attention or taking the details seriously, and this is how people can get misinformed, and everybody else that's watching, you know what I mean, the situation from the outside looking in, be thinking things on some fugazi. He was just referencing it like the press leaked that came from the actual Marine Department. Like, wow. But see, like when people sit there with their titles and their glasses on and their straight faces, you know, people just be, they don't even do their own research at that point. Like, always do your research. I don't even care if I told you something. You know what I'm saying? Write the name down, run back rewind the playback or whatever, so you can actually get what I said, so you can look it up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to plant seeds. I'm not here to give lectures and lessons and stuff like that, but I am here to be like, hey, well, you noticed that and the third was going on. Go check it out yourself, please. But see, this is how this happens. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad that she is the person that she is, because she was like, wait a minute, you said what? Who leaked? The press leaked that? Yeah, I'm gonna need you to get that right, get that together. Let's go, Nancy.
Released to the press, but it was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. That was not released by the media.
Yes, Nancy, but TMZ in every station that's released it is put a copy that they've edited up onto online. And so we have this expectation bias that's there. So the audio obviously is real. It's been released, and the agency that released it said that it's a video or audio of the incident, but every version that we've seen has been stepped on multiple times. And so there's an expectation bias when you start putting up audio translations that you believe is there, and everybody then has this confirmation of that this is what's said. Now, we have to go back to the original audio from the government agency to get the information that we need to prove what's there in the audio, because multiple pieces released through press stations online don't always have the exact audio we want. There's already been speculation that some of the different audio, like TMZ's and the others, are a little bit edited, and they always are, because you put them on there for a specific purpose. And adding the edited versions of what you think are the audio does not necessarily mean that that's what it is. We can look at the audio and find out what's there, but we've got to look at the original version.
Hi, guys. American homeowners. The FBI has been warning about a type of.
Are they just kind of trying to take digs because at the audio and well, you know, as long as it's the original audio and just because it was cleaned up? Because it pretty much sounds the same. Like, and I can pull up the first one, but it pretty much sounded the same. I mean, is that the reason why they're trying to, you know, trying to question the validity of this enhanced audio and keep referring to, you know, as long as it's the original because it was cleaned up? Uda, you off mute? Are you there? Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to find the original, because to me it really didn't sound that much off. You know what I'm saying? what it seemed like I said, some of the voices were enhanced because, of course, if you in the background, you got, you're outside. There's background noise and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I can think of is that they cleaned it up. But I will try because I know
Yeah.
where to find. Huh?
Yeah, it seemed like they cleaned it up on both sides. Whether it was Janetta Brantley's one, she did some a little enhancing on it. The MDMR did their own, but what other original do we have it to compare to? So everybody's speculating to that, but we don't have no other additional audio that we can have to actually go through and break down. This is the only audios that we've heard, which is the one that Janetta Brantley brung out, and then the one that the MDMR has brought out. So that's basically the evidence. Now, what are the contents and the contents of what's being said on the audios is something else. But that's the audio. It seems like Baby was leaning towards the one that's from the MDMR could have been cleaned up using AI as well. That's what they speculated. MDMR did not come out to say that themselves. Of how did they go about cleaning up their audio? How did they go about enhancing theirs? So that should be coming up soon within the next few days or weeks. Maybe MDMR may speak out and let us know exactly what modes and methods that they went to cleaning up their audio. We know that Janetta Brantley, she spoke about hers of how the process of what she did, how she separated the tracks and the voices and kind of she didn't do too much to it, but she kind of wanted to enhance it. You know what I mean? So I could even show you when she was speaking about what she did to her audio itself.
Okay, I only asked because I mean, even the title of the video, bombshell audio distress call, dot, 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 is it real? And then this gentleman just kind of alluded to, like, well, first he tried to be slick and say that the press leaked this and Nancy had to check him and be like, "No, this came straight from the from the rescue department." You know what I mean? With the transcript. And
Yep.
it's still, like I said, it's just the alluding to, well, I mean, if I can get my hands on the original transcript, then that would be great. You know what I mean? Because this is just, poppycock. I don't know. Uh, but it's just the constant, like, just invalidation. So we might not have to do it. Let me see here. You know what? I don't know. You feel like talking to the people, Uda?
You can do what you want to do if you want to.
All right. Let me see
Do
what
they
we
really
already.
want to talk?
I don't know. See, because like I had Reese earlier. OG, he usually got, what I'm saying, he be having some good commentary. Reese be sometimes he need to be reminded of what the topic is and be caught up and all that stuff before he can even give his little 2 cents. But if y'all been paying attention,
Okay.
ooh, let me see here. How much longer we got in here?
A little while longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn up the playback speed a little bit too. Yeah, give me a second, do dirty.
Yeah, man. If y'all really want to come up though, support the channel, man. Most definitely support the channel. Send some support and yeah, man, be a part of the conversation. That's what I tell
You
you.
know what? Thank you for reminding me because OG Do Dirty, the one that's asking me for a link, actually did send me some support. So appreciate you, OG. He said, keep doing your thing. I damn sure will. Let's go ahead and celebrate you real quick and then I'll get back to the conversation.
We humble as a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle. And you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason. 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 You the reason.
Y'all are the reason this is able to be possible. I appreciate every single one of y'all's donations and contributions. Matter of fact, that is a wonderful, wonderful idea because I really don't be asking for much. Each stream, I ask for a 5 donation goal. Any denomination, it even means 99 cents. Okay, I just need 5 of them things. Okay, I need a quick little 5 piece. You know what I'm saying? OG done already put his 5 on it. He good for it. So who else is going to help make the panel happen, because it's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to waste Uda's time. I'm not trying to waste my time, and I'm not saying that a conversation is a waste of time, but I want to see how serious y'all are. You know what I'm saying, about giving your thoughts and giving your feedback and such. So let's try to get the support up, y'all. Appreciate y'all in advance.
Of real estate fraud called title theft, and your equity is the target. With just a forged signature, your ownership can be transferred out of your name, and without protection in place, you're left with an emotional and financial.
My bad. This is her little commercial. Let me doo-doo-doo. I felt like that was my cue. Since she did hers, I did mine. All right, let me make sure I'm muted back up.
We are playing tonight, altered in any way by the Crime Stories staff.
No. What we did, Nancy, is we used an old school technique to bring out the audio in the background. You have AI enhancements now that you just cannot trust the AI because it inserts its own thoughts into it, But when you go old school on this, you isolate and filter. You use an EQ, equalization, to filter, to cut out the low rumble below 80 hertz. You cut out the high hiss above 8 hertz. This gives you the chance to hear that background a little more clearly. Then you boost the mid-range frequency. That's between 300 hertz and 3400 hertz. That matches the mid-range of human speech. Then you apply a simple high-pass filter that removes the constant deep humming or any other extraneous noises that are constant. And this does not alter the content, it merely enhances the content. So when you ask, did we edit or alter? No, we merely enhanced it using basic tools that are used in every production department around the world.
This is like when you're.
I know that's right. 'Cause I know you a fan of the studio, right? You've been there before.
Facts.
Yeah, sometimes that's why there's all that foam and all those different things in there to kind of like help to enhance your vocals, because in between the background noise, people fumbling around outside in the booth, you know what I'm saying? Like it can be quite distracting, especially with those high quality microphones. So this is a nice breakdown of how they actually did it for all those auto engineers out there. Y'all know what he's talking about. He said something about hiss. He said something about EQ. And that was just, I guess, lowered or altered in terms of levels in order to enhance the dominant voice. So no alterations, y'all. No AI. I mean, we clearly heard verbatim, especially, when the gentlemen, the young men were trying to describe what the problem was. And, we understood the dispatch, so it's like, and the conversation seemed to flow. They weren't paying attention like that, but all this AI stuff, I don't know. Sometimes it's just too much. What's up, Ola? What's happening, Smitty? Welcome, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that kind of sounds like the process that Janetta Brantley took. You know what I mean? I'll share
Right.
some back scenes because this was her. I was trying to find it on her Facebook, but I don't know if she still has it there. But this right here goes to show how basically what she said, the process that she took to kind of break down this audio herself. You know what I mean? Let me put mine.
Okay, perfect. And she's the young lady who enhanced the video for us. I mean, the audio for us, right?
Yes, she's the person. She was actually doxxed for it too. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh. See, because they can't just see, because it's like, oh my goodness, you getting too close. You know what I'm saying? They get too close to the truth. Let's throw a monkey wrench into the wheels of the spokes of their tires type shit. You know what I'm saying? So they can just front flip on their bike and bust their whole shit. Like, damn. She's just using her talents and her know-how. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop. This is Don Lemon. I fucks with Don Lemon, man. Hold on, because I hardly ever get to use this. Hold on, where is it? Oh, there it goes. Yes. Let's go, Don Lemon. Better clock it. Clock that shit, okay? Clock it, boo. All right, let's hear what he got to say.
Play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that CTO call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the CTO dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using SMPTE time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally, and I needed to take a mental break. But I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occurred very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the fuck up!
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying, though, right? And that was her breakdown, which just like how that guy was just speaking, how to EQ and how to break it down and separate the audio feeds and all of that. She basically took a process like that, right? And you see what on
Yes.
her transcript what it was saying. That's why I try to zoom it as close so that y'all can see what it's saying on her transcription of it, and just based on her own timeline of the video that she processed. And even on that one, it sounds shaky as hell. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, that one sounded more suspect.
that's what I'm saying. And that was the first one I listened to before the MDMR is on. And I listened to hers without no transcription. I just listened to it first. And after I listened to it, I couldn't even sleep. And I was just listening to it over and over. And then I read the transcription. And then it started to probably clear up some things in my head that maybe I was a little confused about. But as I also read those things, I also heard it even more clearly. You know what I mean? So could it be confirmation bias? Possibly, but it just seems like I'm hearing what I heard. You know what I mean? So, hopefully y'all are honest about what y'all heard as well.
Right. What do you think about comments like this? Mental break. Oh my God.
I don't know what that means. What is that too? I don't understand.
Well, the engineer said that she had to, when she was trying to work on it, clean it up or whatever, even she had to take a break from it.
That's real, bro. I mean, anybody that can't understand that never lived life. So, that's all I could say. You know what I mean? If you lived any part of life, if you've ever been, you at work, and even at work, you need a break after you get dived in and delved into work. You know what I'm saying? So, besides someone being unalived, which I'm from the streets, which I've never lied about in my life. So you can understand when you need a mental break from something and you're dealing with something as such as of a death of a young guy as well. You know what I mean? So, after sitting here, me listening to it, I couldn't sleep. I ended up doing a live that day at 6 o'clock in the morning. I really was going to go live at like 4 that morning because I could not sleep after listening to the audio over and over. And then I read the transcription. I just couldn't sleep. I ended up doing a video, and it shows how I was looking on the video. I was looking like I needed a mental break, literally, and I just heard the audio. So I can imagine a person that's sitting here with this audio, breaking it down, doctoring it like a surgeon, thinking they hearing what they're hearing as well as they're enhancing and clearing it up. This is a lot, you know what I mean? Especially if she's a parent. I don't know if she is, but we all have family. And it's a lot, you know what I mean? It's most definitely a lot. And I think that it can take a toll on you, you know what I mean? It's for real. It's just deep, bro. Especially anybody with
Absolutely.
empathy and compassion for life. Yeah, I just think it takes a cold, callous person to not understand that you may need a mental break. Life will do that to you in life, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, that's big facts. It's like I said, even just the possibility or me taking into consideration what I would have to deal with or face on a daily basis is the reason why I didn't pick certain professions personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have the heart for it? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because my psyche, you know what I mean? Like, you talk about nightmares, staying up, you know what I mean? I'm kind of spiritually sensitive as well. So like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't mean that I can't like help out with certain things, but I would have to do that in small doses for real. Like for real. That's why like cops and police investigators and certain people just be having like what they call dark humor or a dark sense of humor, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, because they do have to find a way to be okay with all this shit that they have to see on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, you're being almost taken into consideration as an expert, being called to the stand, being asked to perform certain, you know, like case breaking, like assignments. You know what I mean? Like cleaning up that audio. I can imagine just even the pressure that was on her. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that she gets it as, clear as possible, even though we weren't there. You know what I'm saying? We can't recreate the situation, but all we can do is try to preserve it in time. You know what I'm saying? So oh my goodness, I just yeah, like I said, shouts out to all the people who are behind the scenes doing all the hard work that nobody else has the guts to fucking do. That's why we on, in the chat room and and on panels just speculating because we don't have the heart to do this, or it would be done. It would be done. You feel what I'm saying?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It most definitely is a lot. You know what I mean? Especially if you're trying to uncover some truth or what you deem some truth that you think you're looking for. Breaking out audio like this, thinking that you're discovering things, you're hearing things as well. The mind can play tricks on you as well. It's a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's most definitely a lot, I mean, especially if you take your craft very seriously, if you have any gift or talent, you know what I'm saying? I'm an artist myself. I act, I write scripts, I do a bunch of stuff. So if you're taking your craft alone serious, that can be taking a toll on you as well. You know what I mean? Knowing what you want to put into it and how you just want to perfect it, or you just want to get everything right. You know what I mean? And you don't want to miss. So, you know what I'm saying? Just those things can be painstaking processes, and it can take a toll on you, man. Anything in life can take a toll on you, man. No one's Superman, no one's Superwoman. So let's just leave that out the window. You know what I'm saying? Anything in life could take a pressure, could take a toll on us, and could get us to that breaking point, or get us to that point of where we just need to step back away from it and take another look at it again. We all get to those points in life. So I can understand what she's saying, you know what I mean? Especially anybody that's even talking about the case on either side of getting hate, getting threats. I done got in and got a little 1-2 threats. You know what I'm saying? Like people that came here called people racist and all that. Me and her right now talking, and I ain't been racist to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show you, when you're speaking out about certain things, that's what comes along with it. But some people don't ever speak out about nothing. They just sit on the wayside and watch things happen to people every single day, and they never take a chance at being criticized for real shit, being criticized for standing up for what you think is right when it's not the cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So I've taken a lot of those stances in life, so I understand what it means and what it feels like,
Big facts. Big facts. Shouts out to you for taking a chance in life.
So, you know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up.
This is Earth, you know what I'm saying? This is Earth. But she was
Hold on.
doxxed.
Who?
She was doxxed.
Oh, I know, young lady. Damn. See, yeah, and you said she had a little. I mean, who doesn't have a disorderly conduct on their record? Like, shut up. Put a suspended license. Like, oh my God, ain't nobody ever been in jail at least for not even for a couple hours. Like, I don't know. I don't. As long as you ain't delete nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can deal with that, because
She ain't
things
nobody.
because
Allegedly.
things happen. Hold on, where did we go?
This is the piece of that. I just screen shared it to you.
Oh, okay. I don't see us up here no more.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay. And what's this one?
This is actually her.
Okay.
And
oh, damn. I don't want to share her mug shots.
She outside, son. She outside, bro.
All right. Let me just address Rooster really quick. He says, LA, y'all better stay out of Mississippi. You see what happened to Claude Banks and Ray Gibson, LOL. Honestly, and this is no diss to your great state of Mississippi, Rooster, but I have never, ever, ever in my life wanted to visit or even pass through Mississippi or Alabama for the historical reasons. It's like a time warp. I'm good. So I'm glad that you know how to navigate through the streets and you can be safe. You know what I'm saying? But I've never had a desire to visit, and I don't think I ever will. So I'll be all right.
I seen some real movies, bro. Mississippi burning, all type of stuff. So hey, I already know, bro. But shout out to you,
right? Like you said, Mississippi burning.
I'm a researcher, bro. I'm a big movie watcher. I'm an avid reader.
Was that about Medgar Evers with Whoopi?
Yeah, that was a wild one, bro.
Yeah, A Time to Kill. Ooh. Yeah, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Like, shoot, I'll never forget Samuel L. Jackson. That happened in Mississippi, allegedly as well. A Time to Kill. Mm-hmm. The Klan was going over the black and the white folks. You know what I'm saying? They was going after the lawyers who had a heart and common sense to know that this was wrong. And of course, poor Robert Lee, was in jail. So yeah, I ain't never really had no desire of being in that part of the United States. Seriously.
Yeah, bro.
Never.
Nothing but dark thoughts when I think about those places.
He said dark thoughts. Have you ever been? You ever visited or anything?
Nah, bro. I've been in the South a few places, but I never been there though. Most definitely never been there. When I think of Mississippi though, it just connects my mind straight directly to slavery and things like that. When I think of certain parts of the world, Alabama, and I just think of certain places, bro. That's what I think about, man. So shout out to anybody who living out there, made it from out there, people that's still alive from out there. You know what I mean? Just dealing with what they deal with on a day-to-day basis, man. Shout out to Rooster from being from out them ways, bro. For real, son. Real talk.
Right. He needs to revise the green books.
The Chitlin circuit.
No, just put in all the tips and tricks and whatever on how to keep Negroes safe in the deep South. Like, I get it. Like I said, I was more close to Stone Mountain, so of course they still have that stupid ass, you know, the carving on the side of Stone Mountain with Robert E. Lee, and they do the laser light show. But honestly, even those, like, I mean, the rock is getting so wore down, you can't even really see what the faces look like on the actual people anyway. But I mean, we just had the World Cup come through. Like, it's actually like the Atlanta and like the major cities are way more diverse. I would never, want to live. I probably wouldn't take it any further south Georgia than Warner Robins. Seriously. Anything below Warner Robins, yeah, it's different territory down there.
Yeah, it's real.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let me put this on the stage. Let me get this up here.
Yeah, I moved to mugshot because you said you didn't want to put a mugshot up, so I moved that.
She got pretty skin.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady. You know what I mean? But this is her responding to it. You know what I mean? That she got doxxed. She said, "This will be my only time I address this. I've never hid in my past and never denied it. The misdemeanor charges on my record are more than 20 years old, and the people who truly know me have known about them for years. Those records do not define who I am today, the work that I've built, or the person that I've become. They also do not prove that I committed any crime. Plenty of people like me are incarcerated right now for crimes that they did not commit. Attempting to discredit someone by digging up decades old records instead of addressing the substance of their work is a tactic that I've expected from the very beginning, and it doesn't change why I'm here. I also want to be very clear. I don't want anyone attacking, harassing, or engaging in personal battles with anyone on my behalf. That only creates more division, and that is not my focus. My focus has always been one thing: justice for Nolan Wells. The questions surrounding this case deserves answers, and they deserve a thorough, transparent investigation. That has not changed. To everyone who has supported me, thank you. Your encouragement, thoughtful discussions, and commitment to seeking the truth mean more than you know. Please continue to stay respectful, stay focused, and don't get distracted by the noise. The conversation should remain where it belongs. What happened to Nolan Wells? His family deserves answers, and that is where my attention will remain.
And I'm trying to tell you, man, like it might sound a little strange, but I mean, I felt the same way about Ahmaud Arbery's case. You know what I mean? Like I said, Kendrick Johnson's case, like there was just certain situations that just did not sit well with me. And it might be because I'm just, thinking about the people in my family who fit those categories, who don't mean no harm. Like I said, who I've had the privilege of watch grow up and, life, and I understood how precious life is. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember them when they were babies, and I saw the soft spot, you know what I'm saying, on the top of their head while I feed them a bottle. Like that shit is it's a different experience, you know what I'm saying? So I can look at a lot of random people that I don't know in the same way, because you were just as precious at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you was defenseless and vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just the and like I said, shouts out to everybody who actually gives a damn in that respect, because like what type of world would we live in? You know what I'm saying? If people could just get away with this. And I mean, because racism, that's one of the hardest things to prove, period. even in the corporate like type of situation. Like you got to catch somebody red-handed, you got to catch them on tape, you got to catch them. You know what I'm saying? You can infer and you know exactly what they mean all day long, but if they don't put it out there explicitly, like racial discrimination and things like that is one of the hardest things to prove, period. So just think about it in a situation like this, you know what I mean? When your life is taken and it's just, you know, everybody's trying to sweep it under the rug. Like, oh, he was hot-headed. He was using coke, you know, like this. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, we ain't got to do all of that. Couldn't have been a star athlete and so popular and all this other stuff. And didn't nobody ever know about the coke dealings and stuff like that before the boat accident? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody know this before.
Yeah.
We just gonna tell the truth now? Like, the quote unquote truth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I said, yeah, nasty work. Most definitely is nasty work, you know. But when it comes to us, you know, that's how it goes, you know. They say when people that get unalive, people die a million times, you know what I mean? First physically, then your character gets assassinated, the thought of you and other things, you know what I'm saying? They just keep just unaliving you, you know what I mean, in multiple ways. It's just like a layered.
Right.
Unaliving.
No, I feel you. I know you would be real careful with that one. You felt you knew that you was walking on ground with some mines, you know what I'm saying, with some landmines under there. No, seriously though, like I mean, and that's how I mean, like the spirit, the human spirit in general. Like, you know, like when this young lady said she needed to take a break, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was because she was really emotionally and spiritually invested into this case. You know what I'm saying? Into this situation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets to be too heavy because like I was saying earlier, you really want to get this right. You really want to help the family. You know what I mean? Like, get their answers. That's the least that, you know what I'm saying, that we can try to provide to them as a collective. And the least that we can also do is just, you know, honor the person by figuring out what the hell happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Shouts out to M Mills. Yes, it is. It's so heartbreaking to watch our youth losing their lives for nothing. I mean, because it do be for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But like, and I have to tell my kids this all the time because they're new teenagers, you know. I have to tell them all the time, like, this time in your life in terms of, you know, high school and junior high, this is temporary, okay? Like, you're probably not going to remember your best friend or still be you know what I mean? But like, stop making or don't make big permanent choices off of temporary, like little situations, you know, temporary situations. And that's what a lot of kids do, you know. If there was something going on with a young lady and people getting jealous or whatever, and now somebody's dead. I'm sorry, unalived.
Mm-hmm.
That's a permanent situation that you made in a very temporary moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, man. You know, I agree. I talked to my son as well. My son's about to be dieted in a couple of days. So my oldest son.
Lord have mercy.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not even close to ready for this. Like like I said, they 13, 12, like, oh, I'm just getting started. But no, that's real, man. Like, all right, we're gonna continue on. Let me see what we got here. We got like 10 more minutes, and after that, I'm probably gonna wrap it up. Oh, I do want to say thank you really quick to My Chance. Thank you so much for your donation, as always, for supporting the platform. Let's go ahead and celebrate you real quick, and then we'll get back to the conversation. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I hate when I move stuff around.
We humble as a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle, and you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason, 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 you the reason.
I'm sorry. This mute button is throwing me off. That's why I be sounding so delayed and slow. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, we just got let me see here. 3 more donations to hit our goal. Like I said, it could be any amount that you'd like. I'm just trying to get the support a little bit more consistent over here because we be pumping out hours and hours, and I love to do the panels and stuff, but sometimes, I like to relax. I know there's some more research that I got to do, especially on this case, because every day something is happening. I want to be more prepared for y'all's questions, comments, and concerns, but I can't do that if I'm online all the time. So let's just, let's work on trying to get the support a little bit more consistent. I know y'all can do it. Like I said, each one of us, you know what I'm saying? Each one of us, we can do this together. All right, let me go ahead and get this pulled back up, and we're going to finish off the video. Let me see. Okay, let me mute myself.
You're playing music, you turn up the bass or turn down the bass. Or Dave Mack, I believe the correct answer would be HELLNO, because if Tatum is right, I want to hear it. Okay, joining us now, in addition to Brandon Tatum, Joe Scott Morgan, John Mobley, now with us, Robert Freed, joining us out of Long Island, certified forensics analyst, EVP of forensics, and chief investigative officer at Page One Inc., author of 5 books, including Forensics Data Collections 2.0, and a book series, and his website is forensicsbyfreed.com, Fried, Freed. Okay, you say there are a lot of red flags. What are they?
Absolutely. Nancy, what I look at evidence is it possible to authenticate the evidence, the information that's being provided? Think about when you download software from a website. Many websites give you a value next to that file because they want you to know that what you're downloading can be kind of authenticated or validated. When we're receiving audio like this from the source, it would be good and proper if people are going to start looking at this and doing examinations to actually apply some kind of hash value or some kind of way to uniquely identify this particular file as an original so people can validate what they're looking at. Number 2, I would also want to look at, what tools people have used, if anything, to basically either analyze or enhance. Now, anybody can use any tools out there, but are they using a tool that's forensically sound, that's defensible, that passes the Fry standard in terms of the methodology?
Okay, you got to speak English to me, man. Are you saying that what Dave Mack's team...
I'm sorry, I fucks with Nancy Grace, man. Like, she is funny as hell. She's like, wait a minute, god damn it. Like, you gotta speak layman's every day. You gonna lose me here, buddy. Like, I likes her, man. She gets down to the point. She gets to the point. She don't pull no punches. Like,
Straight shooter.
Straight up. That's how that's the quickest, the quickest route from point A to point B, right? Mm-hmm. Straight. All right.
Is acceptable.
So my whole thing is no documentation, no evidence. What did Dave Mack's team specifically do? Did they write down those steps that anybody can reproduce what they did? And if we can reproduce it,
yes, they did,
in a process and share that, then that's great. I'm seeing a lot of versions of these videos online with redactions, with phone numbers being withheld.
Put him up, please. Put him up. What videos? Because I'm specifically referring to the audio. I've seen all those videos. They're AI. They're not real. I've seen a video of a young man face down on the beach being attacked by a horde of people That's not Nolan. That's from a different date. I'm speaking specifically about the audio that Tatum is referring to.
Yes. So with that, one of the specific aspects of that is authenticating again where it was received. Is there a digital fingerprint associated with that particular audio? What tools were used, and what specific enhancements were done where to bring out that specific those specific segments that were enhanced.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you, Robert Freed, and understand, I'm not disagreeing with you. But my question is, what are the red flags that concern you about this audio? Now, Tatum says the audio's fine. It's just they're not talking about Nolan. They're talking about the bilge pump or the battery or the engine. And you're taking it, some people are taking it in the wrong context. I'm not taking it in any context. I'm trying to find out, what am I hearing? So That's Tatum's take. Okay. Shipley says, I think it's legit. You're saying it may not be legit because of red flags. The fact that it is or not authenticated, how it's been enhanced, that's a concern. What do you see as a problem? One thing I noticed you said earlier before tonight is that on the TMZ version, there's an additional 20 seconds. Now, I've got a problem with that. Hold on. Mobley, I'd have a problem with that if somebody gave me, let's just say, a bank robbery video, and then I find out there's 20, 30 seconds missing. Oh, no. You have to have it all. And
the smile has to be a nervous tick or something, because he keeps doing it. And I'm thinking that they're having, I'm thinking that they should be having a serious conversation, but his face just don't match. It don't match the conversation, bro. Like, and I'm not trying to be petty. I'm really not. But
for real. He can be more serious.
Do you know the psychology behind nervous laughs and stuff like that? I've never understood them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Why do people do that?
Really? I know it's all defense mechanisms. A lot of times it's defense mechanisms and stuff like that. I don't think this person needs anything to be defended upon, but you could say the right or wrong thing right now, man. You might not have a career right now. You know what I mean? So we just regular people.
You just trying to hold it all together. You trying to hold it all together.
Hold it, bro. Hold it down, PFP. Hold it down, PFP.
You know what? That's what I tell my family when we get ready to leave. If I leave them, all right, y'all, hold it down. Hold it down.
Yeah, hold it down, bro. Straight.
Last thing I want is somebody adding in.
Play. You can press play. I said his face just keep looking like that every time.
Every time. That's why I'm just like, I can't help but to notice it now. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of goes a little serious when he's trying to lock in and pay attention to what she's saying. But then, like, the gaslighting is, he's just like, okay, let me figure out how to finesse or gaslight my my way up out of this. Let me smile real quick. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that told him he got a nice smile because this nigga is just skinning and grinning. But let me be quiet. I think I'm a little too hyper vigilant hunting coons at this point. Let me put my gun away. Hold
on. Video. So that's a red flag to me. That's one of Freed's observations.
And so, this is what I think. I think that, both of these gentlemen make excellent points, but they're missing the link to tie it all together. And that's what's important.
And let me guess, you, John Mobley, are the only one that knows the missing link. Okay, I got to hear this. Go ahead.
Well, what you need to do when you have that audio is, irrespective of the method that was used to enhance it, because just because it's enhanced, I don't see it something that's being used in the courtroom as much as the newsroom. But you want to take that audio and then you go back to the witnesses, okay? And you want to make sure you interview them separately, not together, because you don't want them to somehow commingle in their stories, but ask them separately. Play the audio for the witnesses that were on the boat, play it for them separately, individually, and ask them to corroborate what they're saying. Okay, and what's going to happen is
Tatum said he did that. Yeah, you're right, Mobley. With that, I agree. Back to you, Robert Freed. Given what Tatum, Shipley, and Mobley are saying, the red flags, let's go with that TMC version. What about that? Is that a concern?
Yeah, I mean, I heard hold music when that started, and you know, there's a lot of commotion going on in the background. It's really difficult to actually say, you know, what people are actually saying in those particular versions. Yes, you do need to apply filters. You do need to apply different.
I'm sorry, excuse my delay, y'all. I'm just looking at this actual island. This is not, I mean, it's small, don't get me wrong, but like there's so much space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Now I'm listening to these questions. You know, if there's at one point in time, you know, what was it? One of the friends was like, well, I mean, there were hundreds of people out there at one time. You know how everything would just blend the fuck in when you're dealing with, like I said, such a landmass like this? White sand, all that stuff. It might be somebody who's further down, you know, on the shore or whatever, but like you can't see like that. You can't notice things like that. Like the atmosphere that they're describing sounds like a spring break type of deal where it's just people everywhere, music playing and things like that, but ain't nobody paying attention. They trying to get wasted. Okay, they trying to have fun. They're out on the water. They're living their own music videos and fantasies. You know what I'm saying? Like they not out there trying to be crime fighters and paying attention to what other people are doing. I mean, that's even as we get more modern. That's what people love to say. Oh shit, ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? They see stuff, look the other way because they don't want to be involved. Like, I'm just looking at this, but I wanted to pull up this comment really quick because Uda, like I said, I know that you've been following this with the players of the game more than I have. We got 555 Sparta. He says the exact nature of Katie McCormick and Nolan Wells' relationship is just questionable. Whether they were just talking, friends, interested in each other, or something else has not been made publicly. Do you know anything about the parameters of like their friendship, how long they knew each other, or anything? Has anything come out about that, Uda?
From Katie's side, not too much. We've heard some people coming to Katie's aid in her defense on Facebook, on social media, saying that she had love for Nolan, and I mean they didn't specify what kind of love that is, like, but saying that she would never do nothing to hurt him. But we did hear Warren on his interview, his conversation, saying that Katie was cradled in Nolan's arms. So what does that mean? That she was cradled in his arm? Was they canoodling? Was they just friends? Were they really getting to know each other like that? Did they known each other from past times, prior occasions? A couple of people had speculated towards this relationship that they had, which are a couple of people that were on the boat. One being Warren. Somebody else, I think they said they gave him a look like he was with Katie and they gave Nolan a look or something and he looked back and they like exchanged like a laugh or something like that, which was leading people to speculate that maybe she did have a relationship with one of the boys. They were saying at the time it was Bart, but Bart has lawyered up with the guy from the Mississippi Tribune to come out to say that he never knew Katie at all. The first time he knew of Katie was she was with Nolan on the island. And the image that was circulating with him and the girl is not Katie at all. And that's what he said he's about to sue content.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, names and faces and all kinds of stuff have been leaked out. These are kids. Like, you know what I mean? They can't afford to relocate and, you know what I mean, do all this stuff. People are just like, oh, this is what she looked like. Here go her Facebook page. Here go her Instagram. I'm just like, damn, man. Like, I feel, I feel for it in multiple different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when it comes to this case. Mm. You know, like it sounds like almost like the same thing with Kendrick Johnson. You know what I mean? And that was the young man who got found rolled up in the gym mat, but was basically deemed it was an accident. It was a freak accident. The boy's face looked like Emmett Till, Uda.
Crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, body stuff with newspaper and everything, but the initial um friction, you know what I mean? The initial beef was over a chick. Like, I'm not saying do something to the girl, but like, why? Okay, because I'm just taking it in the arena of men, okay? I'm not a man. I date y'all, but I don't understand y'all, okay? So what is it in the arena of men that just makes y'all want to take each other up out of here? Well, you know that there's certain, I'm not saying that this is what's happening, you know what I'm saying? But every woman doesn't take you seriously. You know what I'm saying? So even if she's just having a great time on the beach and she happened to fall into your arms and you with that vibe because you comfortable around women and you know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about the arena of men that wants to get each other up out of here over just attention from a woman?
That's the history of Earth, man. You know what I mean? You could go to Helen of Troy. You know what I mean? Whole cities done went to war.
Lord have mercy.
Whole cities done went to war, bro. You know what I mean? And that's just the history of Earth, man. Straight up. Most definitely is the history of Earth. Yeah. Can't even explain that. Like, for real, that shit is just, I don't know if it's biological or what the hell it is, but we've seen whole cities go to war behind women. You know what I mean? Besides just one or two men. And a lot of times it's always emotion. There's always egos involved. It's always an egotistical thing. A lot of times it's emotional. Could be an insecurity there as well. Yeah, and no one wanted to lose. That's what I just equated to, you know.
Well, goddamn. All right. I feel you. I feel you. I was just curious. I was wondering if there was anything a little bit more, a little deeper, but I guess not.
Helen of Troy.
All right, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna refresh myself on that when we end this live stream.
Movie Troy with Brad Pitt. Same thing. The movie too. That was based.
Oh, okay. Well, bet. Then I'll watch the movie. Hold on. They got nudity in there because I don't want to see Brad Pitt like that.
Nah, Brad didn't get wild out. Probably some female though.
Okay. I can't remember what, I think it was Alexander the Great, or I can't remember what like movie like that, but I was like, okay, like, so I saw balls and everything. I was like, wait a minute, goddamn, like, I don't want to see all that. Yes. And Rosario Dawson. Lord have mercy. Full bush. Okay, let me be quiet. Let's go back.
Ways to focus in on it. But my whole thing with the different audios that are out there are that people are doing enhancements, they're posting this, they're doing amateur methodologies, and they're putting it out there saying, this is what you need to hear. Take a look. They're putting the words out there before people are even listening to the videos. So it's automatically setting the stage for everybody to start paying attention to things a little bit more. But again, if you have to go back to looking at this from the source, that's the best bet, because that's going to allow you to look at this unfiltered. And that's probably what law enforcement has. You know, there could be snippets that are missing in those specific moments that are redacted, for example, that may hold more clues that we're not hearing. We don't know exactly what's said in those moments that we don't have full access to.
Okay, that is an interesting point. That could be very probative. Of course, enhancements are used in court all the time, so a jury can hear what's being said. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you say, Freed, you have to authenticate and explain what you did, like we just had Dave Mack explain. And yes, it was all written down, FYI. But
excellent.
You stated that on an earlier occasion, much of this tape, this audio was redacted. How do you know anything was redacted, or are you guessing?
Well, the phone numbers, you can hear the cuts in the phone numbers where they say, "What's your phone number? What's your account number?" And it's basically blank. It's not.
Yeah, they definitely redacted that information, but of course, I think that's very typical and textbook. How much other information do you think that they're redacting at the moment, Uda? Besides phone numbers and stuff like that. Do you think they're
I don't
still
know.
worried about names? Are these people being seen as minors in your opinion?
I think they're being seen as young people. Some people take them like kids because they're just college school, the high school kids, or whatever the case may be, or college kids. So I think it's sometimes hard to differentiate that. Sometimes, because we look at them as students. But Nolan was 18,
Right.
and his friends too. So yeah, in some states they like Carmelo. He was 17, but he was tried as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
he was an adult. You know what I mean? So as of now, there's still some young people. If they're criminally charged, they'll be looked at in a whole different way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just like like I said, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, that's I'm like, I'm not very well versed, you know what I mean? Things like that. Definitely don't want to, I want to understand the process a little bit more in terms of how they protect, people's identities and you know what I mean, things like that. I know there's only so much that people can do, past a certain point because there's always going to be some mole or some person who's trying to, leak some shit or put some stuff, put some information out there to be the first one, right? But I just was curious just in general because like when, I see certain pictures, of Nolan and allegedly Katie and her face is blurred out, but then sometimes I see it and it's not. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of wondering about the formalities of it. So, okay.
Yeah, people just trying to maintain people's privacy. Especially with social media, it can be a demon. People get to finding out
Yeah.
who you are, and maybe sometimes just to contain the integrity of the case as well. You know what I mean? Because then people be scared to come forward about certain information. You know what I mean? Especially when their face is out there. They're out there now. You up to scrutinies and different things like that. So sometimes they just try to maintain some integrity of the case. You know what I mean? So they might blur out a face or so. You know what I mean? But yeah, everybody basically in question should be around 18 at least or older. I know Bart. I think Bart is like 21 if I'm not mistaken. So we do have people
Oh,
that's even
damn.
older than 18.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind because, like I said, I'm starting. Today is my day one. I know it's been going on for a month, but I'm a pay attention to this so I can actually be competent and know what the know what the hell has gone on and is going on currently. So just be patient. I'm appreciate your patience. Appreciate it.
Anything it's silent. So right there, we're missing the account number, the private information, but we're also missing what else is going on in the background. Within a couple of seconds, people can say something that would be really important. We're not getting that full picture.
Let's hear it one more time. You be the judge.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you
Hello?
say? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't
All
have the
right,
tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay.
So that sounds like, does it sound like Warren's on the phone? The same one that gave the goddamn interview?
Warren is the one that gave it. Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying not to assume, but when I'm reading the transcript, there was somebody who was talking. Well, he's talking on the phone, obviously. And then somebody in the background calls his name.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed. I don't.
Damn.
Warren.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering, is that Warren on the phone?
Yeah, I think Nancy just said that was Warren on the phone.
All right, I gotta go over his goddamn interview. Hold on, let me write this down. Cause you the one that called. Hold on, she said she thinks that's the guy Bart. Cause I'm like,
Bart is not on the phone though, because they saying Bart allegedly is coming on another boat. He pulled up on another boat.
That's gonna help them,
and he ended up helping them on his boat. Even though on the audio we was thinking like Bart done did. They're like, God damn it, Bart. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, damn it,
right.
Bart.
Don't
what?
Bart.
Right. Bart. Oh, Bart. What? Bart came to help. The hell? Why y'all beefing with Bart? You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, right? So why y'all so vexed at Bart? You know what I mean? So it's just all over the place, especially with the audio coming out and we all hearing what we think we hear from our own ears. But Bart maintains that he pulled up on another vessel, and that's why he pulled up. You know what I'm saying? That's what Bart's lawyers say.
Of course. Of course, that's what his lawyer is saying. Lord have mercy. Because I was like, either Warren is on the phone or he's somewhere on the boat, because, you know, just for his name to be so clear, you know what I mean? In terms of the actual transcript, not just the transcript, but with my own ears, because I really did close my eyes this time to try to see what the difference was in the transcript, you know what I mean, from what I see versus what I hear. And I didn't even pay attention to that before, but I definitely heard that clear as day. So, all right, I got some homework to do for sure as this stuff develops. And we got 2 more minutes, and then we'll be done with this one.
All right, unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at
All right, and is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How many?
board.
All right.
I'm sorry, I gotta take it down because now I'm pissed. She said, is everybody in good health, in condition otherwise? Bitch nigga, you was just in the background talking about, oh my God, Nolan, don't die. And then she just asked you, is anybody else injured, or is pretty much everybody in good shape? And you said, hell yeah.
Nope. And never spoke to the water that she asked as well. When we already just seen the boat made mad moves after that. You know what I mean? The boat was making moves. So if you answered that to say, no, we got knee-deep water up to the knees or something right now, and then the boat's still making all those moves that you making, especially with a failed bilge pump, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Right.
Kind of shaky.
They gonna make me get my marine bag and everything. Like, hold on. Like, I used to sell protection, you know what I'm saying, for boats and stuff. So I know about the different types, but I don't know about the different parts and what they do. Like, shoot, they gonna make me really research some shit. Like, for real. Because I don't know. But see, like, but in between the chat and you got, you know, and you, Uda, who was saying that, like, the tow got canceled, and then Bart ended up intervening and scooping and, you know what I mean, making sure that they was good. I mean, to me, it just looks like a huge attempt to cover some shit up.
It seems like.
It buys them so much more time. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's go ahead and document this. So we got a little, you know, just in case somebody says something about the boat, then we can already say, so how do we cover this? You know what I'm saying? Boom, we got that. But then we got somebody else who technically has a craft that's big enough to actually service or do some ghetto towing or whatever to get the boat off, and but then they keep having fun. This is, oh man. What do you know what the last known time that anybody had heard from Nolan?
The friends say 3 p.m.
3 p. Put that that Isla hopping picture back up there real quick.
Hold up. Yeah, the friends.
Because when they was cruising until 7 in the evening or some shit.
Till like 8. Hold on, let me show you. Share image file, right? Hold on.
And sometimes I don't know. Shanquilla Robinson, she's popping up in my head right now because some people will be so trifling to know what's going on and have a whole deceased person on the premises or around them until they figure out what the hell they need to do. This is crazy. I'm just like, how long? Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Let me zoom and make my screen bigger. All right. So started at 9:56 a.m. 11:14. You got it.
Right at 9:56.
Let me mute up.
They there. They saying basically that the last time they saw, even Warren's mom even said that on her Facebook channel as well, that the last time the kids even seen of Nolan at all was around 3 p.m. So they arrived there, they chilling for a few hours on this island, all right? So you can see now they saying like around 3 p.m. is maybe the last time they've seen him. So we see that we got a marker in the water. So maybe this is around the time that they're making this distress call, right? So now from there, from 2 to 3 to 4 is 4:35 when they're back on shore at 4:35. And they said they last seen him at 3 p.m. when he said he's going to stay on the island and get a ride with someone else. The boat leaves from 4:35 to go to Fort Bayou at 5:52 p.m. From 5:52 to 6, the boat goes to the boat launch at Fort Bayou. From there, it goes back to Fort Bayou boat launch at 7. Okay, it goes to original dock. You go to Fort Bayou, goes back to original dock on 6, then goes to the boat launch at 7. And then from 7, this is 7:19. So Nolan's been on, if they saying at 3 o'clock, Nolan's been on there for like 4 hours right now on the island by himself, allegedly. Right?
Right.
And then from 7 to 8, as you can see here, this is when the boat is towed over land to a home that's in Biloxi. So that boat was taking on water, but the boat's still making mad moves. And
making mad moves. Yeah.
Just making mad moves, which is shaky to me. You know what I'm saying? So if they would have even answered that question that the Ceto operator was asking him, is the water up to your feet, to your ankles? Like, where's this water at? You know what I'm saying? Because if he'd have been like, yeah, the water damn near to our knee, and then the boat making all these moves, you'd be like, yeah, come on, bro. That boat ain't going under yet.
Facts. The only thing that's kind of like bothering me a little bit, and maybe I'm just paying too much into detail, but when you look at the map, right? It doesn't matter if you're looking at the first blue one, the yellow ones, the purple ones. They got arrows on both sides. So does that mean that they went round trip, or they only went one way?
They went one way. That was all ways.
Okay, because I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, okay, like for example, when you look at point number 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that what's tripping me up is the arrowhead that's pointing towards the 4 and pointing towards the 5. You understand what I'm saying? It's making it look like it was a round trip type of situation. I don't know. That's why I had to ask real quick because yeah. Yeah, make it too many moves. Nice. All right, man. Shit. Woo, my goodness. All right, so I definitely got my homework cut out for me. I really do have my homework cut out for me, but this was I don't know. This is a situation I've been wanting to talk about because, like I said, I mean, I mean, there can't just be a joke about, black women or women in general who like crime shows and shit, and we don't follow no actual crimes. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's a situation like this, like it's not just snapped in the first 48 or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure you've heard that joke that women like crime shows and shit. So, yeah, I'm gonna start paying attention to this because it's just, it's new enough where I don't have to catch up on too much in order to stay up to date. You know what I mean? But they got to get this shit together, man. They got to get this together.
So good.
Because I mean, not only do they have a district or a jurisdiction, of people to make feel safe and assure them and have faith in them and all that stuff. I mean, culturally as Americans, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, like, this is not 1950s, 1940s anymore. Like, we doing all this extra stuff with letting everybody and their mama in. We got to start looking out for people, especially the ones who from here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound too inflammatory, but like, we if racism and all these things have died, then show us, prove it to us, because their parents, their grandparents, they still live with this same type of mentality. And just because they got the Abercrombie, cut grandchild doesn't mean that he doesn't have a white supremacist viewpoint either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know, but we about to get up out of here. Thank y'all, everybody that came through. Thank you, Uda, for my Cash App. I appreciate you. My Chance, and also OG Do Dirty. Thank you so much. We're getting more consistent. I appreciate y'all, but at the same time, I'm going to stay consistent with that content. You know what I'm saying? So where y'all ain't got no choice. You feel me? Not even going to be no question. But you got anything to wrap up with the people? I really appreciate you hanging out with me during the live stream.
No, man, just salute to everybody, man. Salute to everybody that's following this case. You know what I mean? Whether any side of the fence of this case that you're on, if you're on the boys' side, if you're on Nolan's side, whoever side, you know what I mean? But most definitely prayers and hearts goes out to the Wells Wansley family. RIP to Nolan Wells. And I just hope that every stone is turned over and they actually get to the truth of what really happened to Nolan Wells. So yeah, man, salute to LA. Make sure y'all supporting the channel. Make sure y'all Cash Apping doing all the things that y'all can do to support. And yeah, man, she's gonna be more consistent on this case. So that's what it's all about, man. So salute to everybody.
For sure. I'm just putting your links in the vertical and horizontal side. Give me 1 second. Ooh, I got the vertical. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get the horizontal side. Yeah, y'all check out Uda he stays on go, man. This is not like trials in court, like that's his thing, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's not just gonna be this case, it's gonna be whatever, it's gonna be whatever. He's gonna be on it. So please make sure that you subscribe to Uda. I did drop his link in both the vertical and the horizontal side, so y'all can go ahead check him out. But yeah, rest in peace, Nolan, man. I pray for comfort and answers and closure for your family. So I pray that your spirit can rest and you can go home and just live in eternal happiness. That's what we like to say, right? Us religious folks here on earth, right? But no. And for everybody else that's involved, just pull your big girl and big boy drawers up, man, because ain't nobody tell y'all to do this. Ain't nobody tell you to lie or try to cover up. Nobody told you to not look out for your friends. You know what I mean? Like, nobody told you. And I love the fact that, as we're getting more like into modern times or whatever, us parents, we've stopped We've stopped whooping our children to explain things to them. And one of the things that we explain to our children, I'm sorry, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. I had to sneeze so bad. One of my favorite lines that I always tell my daughters is, you don't ever let somebody else get your ass in trouble. All right? So that means make good choices. Ignore peer pressure. All right? Don't make excuses because your friends were there and they told you that. Don't you let somebody else get you in trouble. Straight up. It's not worth it, as you see. You know what I'm saying? When the smoke clears and it's time for people to be responsible for things, you're going to be left by yourself. You're going to be left by yourself, man. And it's a lonely place. So prayers and all that good stuff out to anybody who's involved, because you're going to need it. All right? We own it now. And it's just so sad, you know, like, it's so sad that, you know, people who didn't even, you know, might look a certain type of way, that might be judged a certain type of way because of how they look, but they didn't even get a chance to fuck up. They didn't even get a chance. Never go to college, never get married. Never go to another one of his parents' anniversaries. Never see, you know, one of his siblings have a birthday. Never have kids. Like, y'all don't even give people a chance to fuck up sometimes. It's sad. That's right. Be a leader. And it's I get it, man. Walking the road less traveled is not convenient and it's scary. But it is so rewarding, man. It is so rewarding. And it doesn't mean that you have to be by yourself. It just means that you got, maybe instead of having 100 people that you can call and kick it with, you only got 5. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with 5 people by your side who is holding the torches up, helping to light the way. Helping to, you know what I'm saying, to avoid complications or accidents or whatever the hell, man. You don't need 100 people. You only need a few. And the most important and vital member of that friend group is your damn self. Sounds cliche, but it is so true. If y'all cannot stand to be around yourselves, how in the hell do you expect anybody else to put up with your ass? Think about it. Think about that. Appreciate it, TBE. Yeah, we getting real with it, man. Like, fuck the gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck the gimmicks. This is people, I think that they really want to hear more relatable opinions and perspectives, man. We can all just sit here and recite rap lyrics all day, but it's not gonna hit the same, right? All right. So I did want to say really quick, thank you. Not only did Uda help me with this whole live stream because he has been paying attention to this case like crazy, but he also contributed to the channel support, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the Cash App, Uda, you know what I'm saying? Uda, we had My Chance and we had OG Do Dirty. Thank y'all so much. I don't know why I'm so like, I think it was my Coca-Cola. I'm burping like crazy. Let's go ahead and thank the donations for today, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
We humble as a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle. And you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason. 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 You the reason.
All right. I appreciate everybody that showed up, especially y'all showed out on the vertical side. The views were crazy. Had no idea it would have been like this, but obviously y'all hungry. You know what I'm saying? Folks is hungry for this information. They're hungry about this topic. They're hungry about justice. And I'm going to try to help as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? If I already put myself out there as a content creator, the least I can do is keep looking behind the scenes and bringing to the forefront what I find. All right. So thank everybody that participated either in the chats. Thank y'all for every single like. Welcome to all the new subscribers. See, thank you for all the shares. We lit. Oh my goodness. We might actually, shit. Okay. All right. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Let me put my poker face back on and get up out of here. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate y'all. Everybody that's in the building, y'all make sure to have a wonderful, great rest of your day. All right. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, man. It's like I always say, you can't be good to others if you're not good to yourself. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
The world is a real place where things aren't perfect. It's all about the journey. And where are you going?